and paid testimonialist.
My name is Douglas. I'm 79 and I live in Chicago. I'm a writer, director. I used to be a marathon runner. Now I'm a walker. And the kind of work that I do, you are surrounded by people who are all younger than you. Memory became a factor. As everyone gets older, where did I put my keys? But I had to get help to stay competitive. I happened across Prevagen and I started taking it. I saw myself having an improved memory, which at the same time, I felt better about myself. I could not be doing what I'm doing today had it not been for Prevagen.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life. Prevagen is available in stores everywhere. Based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who were cognitively normal or mildly impaired, this product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Inclement weather has halted the second round of the 87th Masters. Play suspended for the day, and the second round will resume tomorrow morning at 8 Eastern. Right around when the horns rang out, 3 thin pine trees collapsed just to the left of the 17th tee box and fell right in front of the landing area. Winds were gusting. Club officials say no one was injured. Let's check the leaderboard, sponsored by Prevagen. Prevagen is the most recommended memory support brand by pharmacists. Brooks Koepka, 12 under, very much in position for a 5th major title this weekend. Jon Rahm is 9 under. He had back-to-back birdies at 8 and 9 before the weather delay began. Amateur Sam Bennett putting on a clinic, 8 under and in the clubhouse, 4 back. The ageless one, Fred Couples, 1 hole to go before becoming the oldest player to make the cut at the Masters. Couples at 63 years old, even par, 4 months older than Bernard Langer was when Langer made the cut in 2020. From Augusta, I'm Ted Emmerich, Westwood One Sports.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240U Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
People settle down because it's time
for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show.
Let's do it.
Hi, everybody. It's Friday here on the Daily Blender. And a good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, not alongside Randy White. We got Ralph from Harmon Solar taking a participation trophy play-in tournament victory lap over there on his camera. We got Keon in the control room, and we got you guys on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And a lot going on. First off, why are there stripes across those banner things there? Are they embarrassed so they're blacked out so they wouldn't be seen with you? Or what is that line? The banners. Don't you see the purple stripe across the bottom part there?
No.
You know? What is that?
It's just banner after banner. I don't know what you're talking about. There's just so many banners. This room is very crowded. I brought all the trophies and banners in.
Yeah.
And it's very, very crowded. Yeah.
It smells like old stuff. Just smells like a lot of really old stuff. You know, musty, like
this one right here.
No one would even remember.
That's a 2020 one right here. So
the COVID one. Don't sniff that. You'll catch COVID. That's where Ralph keeps getting it from. He keeps sniffing that COVID trophy right there.
They have a room like this for the Suns, except this has a purple top. There it is. So just so you know.
One of these days, maybe soon. Yeah, not today. Because as you know, I've already won the steak dinner bet against Ralph, so I'm not worried about it. And boy, am I glad the Clippers took care of business, because if it had been left up to the Suns, Ralph would have absolutely won that bet, because these are the following players who are listed as out for tonight's game: Kevin Durant, DeAndre Ayton, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, TJ Warren. Holy crap.
These are excuses.
It's the whole starting lineup, Ralph.
Excuses.
It's not excuses,
man. Monty's scared. He knows the Lakers are playing good. He doesn't want to lose and have to answer to it. So this way,
he's doing charity and letting you guys win another game to be in better position for your play-in game.
The reality is that the Suns are locked into 4. If they lose, they can't fall. And if they win, they can't go up. So
there's no reason to play.
Why risk anybody?
Look, double or nothing. Double or nothing. Double or nothing. 3-to-1 odds. Let's go.
Nope. Even that. We're not doing that. And the whiskey bet is off too.
No. That bet is on. That bet is on.
Oh, you're going to get an airplane bottle of whiskey there. That's bull crap right there.
The whole starting lineup is out.
Yeah.
The whole
that's
starting
just-
lineup.
Like that
is just
matters.
silly.
It doesn't.
It
What does that
matters.
matter? Are you wait, Mister? It doesn't count earlier in the season because we were a completely different
Well,
team. Doesn't understand that the
look.
starting lineup
Look.
playing is a different team.
Kobe's not playing. Magic's not playing. Kareem's not playing. All right. So there's 3 right there. Just saying.
I mean, okay.
And I heard James Worthy's on the bench too. So I don't want to hear it.
12.5. That's the spread.
Lakers are favored.
Of course they are.
Okay.
Well, let's see here. Anthony Davis is doubtful. LeBron James is doubt. I will laugh my ass off if the Lakers still lose this game. Oh my God. You should owe me 2 steak dinners if that happens. Holy crap. Well, welcome to the program, everybody. Today, well, you can choose your day. It's either Good Friday, which means as a Christian, Good Friday for you. Not great for the guy who's about. That was kind of a rough Friday for him. And then, or you can just say it's National Beer Day. National Beer Day is April 7th. It's not on the same day as Good Friday all the time. It just happens to fall on Good Friday. So it's National Beer Day. Now, we've had beer since 11,000 BC, and which means we made beer before we made God. And then hops came into the picture about, I don't know, year 1200. And bun wearing bathtub beer makers, they didn't get started until 2008. So that is the stretch of time, about 13,000 years before somebody's like, I should make beer. I'm cool. Anyway, so that's today. You can celebrate the Good Friday or the National Beer Day. I'm not judging. It's none of my damn business. This is America. Can I just talk to you guys for a second? And by guys, I don't mean you, Kiana, or Ralph, because Keon, you're not old enough. But
I thought he was going to say he wasn't a guy. I was like, what's going on here?
No. This is for people over 50. Okay.
Oh, why are you talking to me?
So yeah, right. See, now we have to tread lightly here because you know how later in life the ladies they have something called menopause, and they individual results may vary, but there's hot flashes, there's emotions, there's hormones, there's things that I don't even understand. Now, probably nobody's business. My wife is so far away from that, I don't have to worry yet. But as a man, I've noticed a change just recently, and I don't know if this is a older gentleman thing or if I need to see a doctor.
Jeez,
bear with me. It's nothing dirty.
I'm a little scared. God.
So I used to be the guy. I've chosen a field where let's face it. I'm not working hot and sweaty most of the time. Every now and then something will happen. I'll be working on some project, or I'll work in the yard or work in the house. But I'm usually not a hot, sweaty guy. I'm a working inside kind of guy. And so, for me, take a shower, put on some deodorant there, good to go. And I could skip like 3 days without a shower, never smell bad. But lately, I could shower every day, put on deodorant, and I end up stinking later. I don't even know what this is about. Is there something that happens when you get older where deodorant just stops working? And I'm not doing anything different. I'm doing the exact same work now that I did 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. So I'm wondering, is there such a thing as stinkapause for men where deodorant doesn't work anymore?
Did your diet change recently?
No. My wife has been feeding me way better than I should be fed for the last 10 years.
Is this recent?
No, 10 years.
Oh, okay.
I know for you and your Lakers trophies in the background, recent seems like 20 years ago, but the reality is no, this is like within the last few, like a month or so where I'll be like, oh, that's me,
I haven't experienced that change. So
you're older than me, so I figured you'd have the answers.
Yeah, I don't have that issue at all. I have other issues that we could discuss, not on there, but
I named it Stinkapause, so that's trademarked me. Well, what's your issues?
I can't talk about them.
Oh, the little guy?
They're not.
Sorry, man. I'm sorry, man. I'm so sorry. Listen, don't be ashamed. Go get what you need to the testosterone, get the splint. I don't know. Whatever it takes.
Not the little
whatever
guy.
it takes.
No, not the little guy. But these issues are not FCC compliant. So
back there. Or
I'm
just
not,
the prostate.
I'm just not talking to. Yeah, well, that's definitely one of them.
Probably should get that checked.
Yeah. It's not this. This.
That was a visual. It's like I call it when you get the prostate check, the getting the last of the peanut butter out of the peanut butter jar move. One of these.
Last doctor I had his whole hand was bigger than your head. So
it was like watching Clarkson's Farm. The whole arm was in there for you, huh?
It's coming for you, Keon. Don't worry, it's coming.
He's like, oh God, 10 years, 8 years, however long it is. All right, so
I'll enjoy what youth I have left.
I just didn't know if Stinkapause was a thing. So
I haven't experienced it. So maybe ask Randy.
Yeah. Where Randy is, he's off. He decided to stretch out his drinkathon. So we'll talk to him on Monday.
Okay.
But all right. So, by the way, before we get into too much stuff. Oh wait, I have somebody on the text line is filling me in. Scratch me because says Stinkapause happened to me about a year ago. It helped when I shaved my pits. Are you a lady? Why are you shaving your pits?
I think he's just doing whatever it takes to not stink.
I can't.
Well, now you should trim your pits now because as you get older, you do need to trim them.
Why?
I think odor might be one of the things. I mean, you don't want
They're
these
not out of
big,
control.
you don't have these 1970s bushes under your arms, do you?
No. I'm not wrestling a troll doll here. I just have a normal amount of underarm hair. It ain't nasty or nothing.
Okay.
I guess scratch me because I guess I could try that. Big George says, Jeffrey, are you trying to say that your wife is going through menopause? No, I didn't. I said she's not. She's way far away from that. Trust me. Listen, my wife is the kind of woman that wherever we walk in places together, they're always like, oh, he must be rich. That because she's trust me. Mr. Wilburn says, Jeffrey, it's because you're a Tempe. I'm just going to stop you on that one. That's listen. We all know the truth about Tucson and Arizona. So, Heavy Metal Maniac says Ralph is going to be crying tonight after the backups beat the Lakers because none of the starters are going to be there. Go Phoenix Suns.
Yeah,
I love your spirit, Heavy Metal Maniacs, but the reality of it is
keep drinking.
Not likely. I don't know. I mean, tell me the story about the Lakers, though, Keon. If they win or lose, how does it affect them? Is there still an element where they could find themselves out of the play-in, or are they clinched in the play-in?
I mean,
I thought I heard they were.
Yeah, the Lakers are pretty much locked into the play-in. I mean, they're just a couple of games up from Oklahoma City. I believe 3 games up from Dallas. Those are the 2 teams that are trying to get in.
Park all their starters too, because this game doesn't matter for them either.
The thing is, it does because you want
matters to Ralph, like the COVID trophy does.
Well, but you also want to have the higher seed in the play-in tournament because 7 plays 8, and if you win, then you just get to be in the playoffs. You don't have to go through a couple of games. If you lose, then you'd have to play again, and you could run the risk of not making the playoffs entirely.
Well, they're only a game behind the actual 6 seed, which means they could leapfrog Golden State and be out of the play-in and just be in the set 6.
Yeah, so both of those teams have still a lot to play for. So the Lakers can still avoid the play-in, but even if they can't, you still want to have the 7 seed, so you only have to win once and just get in.
So what you're saying is 6 is afraid of 7 because 7, 8, 9.
That is that.
Blow the whistle on me. Blow the whistle on me. I mean, I deserve it.
It shockingly works somehow, but here we go.
It actually does. I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't blow the whistle. That was the
thing. I was gonna blow the whistle, but I was like, no, that actually, as it
borderline
somehow actually works.
All right. No,
I don't know how we got
necessary, but I apologize. 888-368-1580. The historian says Egyptians under the pharaoh would issue their troops a daily beer ration along with some onions. Now, is that about the fact that it's National Beer Day or about that I got stinky pits? Because it does work for both. But thank you for that, historian. It's sort of funny. The historian has, I don't know how long you've been on this text line, but that was the first time the historian has actually offered up actual history. He's been on this text line since, before we went to the new text program. So I don't know how long for sure, but historian, I expect a historical fact from you like once a show. That is your job. And I know you didn't ask for it, but you called yourself the historian. You've proven you can give me a historical tidbit. So by God, I am slurring like I'm drunk, aren't I? It's coming through, isn't it? Well, that'll teach me. Big George says, Jeffrey, you're right. You are the radio version of Leonardo DiCaprio. No, come on, let's not go to a stretch like that. I mean, people think that when they see us, but it's not that bad. Pinocchio says, I am so sick of these Suns games being blacked out. It's sold out and nationally televised. Damn it. What are you talking about? What do you mean we can't watch it? You just watch it on Bally's or something, right? That's what it is. You just watch it on Bally's. We're about to go down that road again, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, let's see here.
Oh, hey, Ralph, send me that black box information again.
Okay.
I think it's time.
Yeah,
I think it is.
So
I think it's time.
If you try to watch it on the NBA TV, which is where it is nationally, it'll obviously be blacked out. So yeah, you got to watch it on the Bally's.
Okay. Sorry, Pinocchio. Sports bar might be it, but I feel your pain. I do feel your pain. But all right. So there's something else. Let's talk about the Masters. Ko Pectate is far and away doing better than anybody right now. He's 12 under par. John Rahm is behind him at -9. And you say it like that? -9? It's 9 under, right?
9 under.
Say
-9. 9 under.
I'm saying it like betting stuff. Sam Bennett is 8 under. Colin Morikawa, he's along with Victor Hovland is 6 under par, and nobody else cares about the rest of these guys. But there's still play going on, and but right now Brooks Koepka just nobody's going to catch him today. But the cut line, let's talk about the cut line. Tiger Woods is he's on a razor right now. He's right on the line. He's he's 2 over par. And I think he's on the 11th right now. So if that is if I'm correct on that. So yeah, we have to keep an eye on whether Tiger Woods is going to make it. But guess who's not going to make it? Rory McIlroy, 5 over par today. Nice. Kiss that goodbye. What happened to him, man?
He just imploded. And it's a Rory thing to happen. I mean, I do think that a lot of people, and I'm part of that group of people, kind of thought that the worst of Rory kind of being inside his own head was behind him in his career. It seemed like he was getting a whole lot more consistent. He wasn't necessarily worrying about what other people thought and all that other stuff. I guess it's not completely gone, is it? Because he just absolutely, once he starts a death spiral, he can't get out. Like he just can't seem to break the tailspin, and he just goes completely haywire.
So here's something I'm going to do real fast. I'm going to give you the names of people I recognize under the cut line. That doesn't mean that I'm going to know who all the good guys are. All I know is if I recognize them, then everybody knows them, right? Because I don't know nothing. So let's see. Billy Horschel matter? I don't know. He ain't going to make it. Let's see. Bryson DeChambeau. He was 4 over par. He go bye-bye.
A little surprised by that.
Yeah. Tom Hoge. Anybody care about that guy? He's 4 over par and out. Bernard Langer. He's 5 over, but that's the old man that everybody figured wasn't going to make it. Rory McIlroy. Sergio Garcia. Yeah, nobody's surprised. Nobody. Let's see here. I'm scrolling down, and now I'm just Bubba Watson way down there with 7 over.
Good. I mean, just didn't even get out of the blocks.
Wow. And so nobody else. Kevin Na and Will Halitosis, they didn't even play. So did I miss anybody's name that probably matters on that?
I mean, I don't know exactly how big he is, but I think Francisco Molinari is a little surprising because he has done well at Augusta before. Not that he's
Molinari.
Not that
like
he's great, but
is that the son of Al Molinari, the guy who played Al on Happy Days?
I don't think so. Francisco Molinari is insanely Italian. But I do think that he's been competitive. The year that Tiger won the Masters, Molinari was the guy that had the lead when Tiger passed him on Sunday. So just the fact that he's not competitive in this at all, he's just not even going to make the cut. I am a little surprised by that.
It's a good thing I predicted that Brooks Koepka would win the whole thing the other day. You can't prove I didn't, but it's a good thing I did because
I did.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
I did, and you said no way.
You said something about Scheffel. That's all I remember.
Oh no! It's on
by the
way,
people are like, "Why the hell are these trees falling down at Augusta? Trees are just falling over all over the damn place." I have 3 theories on this. One, the rain has softened some stuff up, and well, that's just people maybe lean on a tree that I don't know, just weak ass trees. I don't know what's happening there. So probably weather related. That's my first theory. Second is you got PGA Tour guys trying to bump off live guys. So, but the trees aren't falling at the right time. They're trying to they missed them. So luckily nobody's been hurt. And the other thing I think is maybe just God hates racists. Maybe he's just boom. Oh, I missed a racist.
Wow.
There's more trees. God's like, oh wait,
That's a big tree.
Yeah,
just gotta need a
Look
big
at the
tree.
picture of it.
they're just pine trees on the East Coast, and they fall all the time.
Oh, so you think God loves racists?
I didn't say that. This isn't about God. I'm just talking about pine trees. They always fall.
These are my theories, Ralph.
It's not a good theory.
So stay out of my theories. It's
it's
either
not-
weather, God hates racists, or the PGA Tour trying to bump off live tour guys.
Okay.
Choose whichever one of those you want. One of them's right.
The thing is, if you go to see the Masters, you may not necessarily be a racist. So I don't know.
Oh, but
Death by
locals,
tree.
lots of locals. Go
So everybody
there.
in Georgia's a racist.
Yeah, I'd say so. Probably mostly, yes. I don't know, Keon.
The majority of the state's minority, right?
It's
Well,
not-
I'm saying a majority of people who wouldn't be racist against racist or racist or race sister people.
Ray's sister.
wow.
It's Ray's sister. I didn't say racist. I said Ray's sister. A lot of racists in Georgia, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I live near a few, but
Just saying.
but I just think that when it comes to going to go see the Masters, I just don't know that there's guarantee that that's what's going on there. Just because when you go to apply on the Masters, it's random. Like it's just a first come first serve. You enter the thing, and then they will let you know whether or not you want a ticket. And so anybody can go to the Masters. I mean, it doesn't even matter how much money you have. It's just.
You've created politically correct tiptoe conversation.
Oh, no, I sort of was thinking of more racist jokes. I wasn't really listening. Watermelon said, Jeffrey, I heard the trees fell due to a big wind, Augusta.
All right.
Augusta wind. Watermelon. That you're going to have to. Well, at least you hit sometimes that's the trick. I don't know. Should we start doing a thing? It's 2 minutes of showtime, not just 2 minutes. Because if we give him a 2-minute penalty right now,
he'll be
by
clear.
the time this break is over, he's out. So it has to be 2 minutes from
2 minutes from when we get back from break.
Yeah, I think that's fair on that. And the historian says to comment on history, my texter nickname was chosen by you, Jeffrey. Well, okay. I don't remember that. You're supposed to know history. You're supposed to be the historian. You got to give me more on that, but I'll tell you. He says it was June 1st. He says around June 10th, 2020, about 1600 hours. So the fact he uses military time tells you a lot about the historian. Come on, historian. Just give me a history thing once a day. Live up to your name that I gave you. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about some baseball and some basketball and, of course, some football. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
From the Augusta National Golf Club, Westwood One Sports presents this special report on the Masters. I'm Ted Emmerich. Play is done for the day. A weather delay began at 4:21 Eastern, and at 5:45, Augusta National announced the second round would be permanently suspended until tomorrow morning at 8. Jordan Spieth, one of the players who was able to finish the second round, the 2015 Masters champion, shooting a solid, if unspectacular, 2 under 70. He's 5 under overall and 7 back of the leader, Brooks Koepka.
If you're chasing, you don't want to be chasing Tiger Woods. You want to be chasing, somebody who's never been there. But it doesn't matter because you control what you can control, you and the golf course. And I won't do much scoreboard watching. If he pushes it forward, then I needed to play better the first 2 days, but I'll have a goal given the conditions, and it'll try to be to shoot under par on the weekend.
Well, Koepka also made it through 36 holes. A 5 under 67 today. Koepka is 12 under with a 3-shot lead. You're listening to coverage of the 2023 Masters on Westwood One.
Do you want to know what's trending now? You can defer payments of a full NetSuite implementation for 6 months. No payments and no interest for 6 months. This is a big deal. NetSuite by Oracle has never made an offer like this in its 22 years as the leading cloud financial system. 33,000 companies have already upgraded to NetSuite. gaining visibility and control over their financials, inventory, HR, e-commerce, and more. Everything they need to reduce manual processes, boost efficiency, build forecasts, and increase productivity across every department. In fact, almost 90% of finance leaders agree that NetSuite helps them reduce manual data entry time. Whether your business generates millions or hundreds of millions of dollars, take advantage of this special financing offer of no payments or no interest for 6 months at netsuite.com/golf. That's netsuite.com/golf. netsuite.com/golf.
Augusta National officials say no one was hurt after 3 pine trees fell near the tee box at 17. There were strong winds just as play was suspended. Scary moment with patrons all around. Let's check the leaderboard, sponsored by NetSuite. Head to netsuite.com/golf for a special one-of-a-kind financing offer. That's netsuite.com/golf. Brooks Koepka 12 under, fully healthy, 2 years removed from his knee surgery. John Rahm at 9 under. He'll wrap up his second round Saturday morning. Right now, Rahm 3 back. U.S. Amateur champion Sam Bennett from Texas A&M solo third at 8 under. Rory McIlroy wondering, oh no, what happened? A 5 over 77 from one of the pre-tournament favorites. McIlroy missing the cut at +5 overall. Tiger Woods will return in the morning. He's through 11 in the second round. Woods +2 with work to do to make the cut. From Augusta, I'm Ted Emmerich, Westwood One Sports.
This is Brett Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. The best way to start betting smarter is to sign up for a free VSiN subscription at vsin.com/subscribe. That's vsin.com/subscribe.
The Phoenix Suns visiting the LA Lakers tonight. Phoenix a 12.5-point underdog, +590 on the money line. Phoenix already clinching the 4th seed in the Western Conference. Lakers still trying to get out of the play-in tournament. They are -850, over under 225. The Golden State Warriors in Sacramento to take on the Kings. Warriors a 9.5-point favorite. They're just 9-30 on the road this year, -405. The Kings have clinched the 3 seed in the West, +320, over under 235. Dallas at home against the Bulls. Mavericks an 8-point favorite at home, -320. Chicago +260. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Baseball is in full swing.
See you later!
And we've got the grand old game covered like an infield tarp.
How about that?
Who's hot? Who's not? We've got the latest news, score, highlights, and info from around the league all season long.
It's a camper and it'll go all the way to the wall.
We are your MLB hookup.
Looking up and it's gone, a home run.
Get all the games you can handle on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Sure, anybody with a Phoenix Suns ticket right now is like, oh, this is bull crap. It's just, what? What are Kevin Durant, DeAndre Ayton, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, they're out? How would you feel about that? You know, I just, it doesn't matter what team, but if you found out your starters were not going to be there. And by the way, Kevin Durant, we're paying him a buttload of money and he gets another day off. You know that? Okay, I'm going to stop right there because I know you're all going to make jokes about me right now. So forget it. All right, moving on. 888-368.
No kidding.
1580. Too close. Too close. By the way, what are you guys having for Easter dinner? Do you know what you're having for Easter dinner? What do you usually have at your house, Ralph?
I mean, growing up, as I was an Italian family, we did all the Italian, the Easter hams and a couple of Italian meals in there and things like that.
Right.
Now, we don't really do too much different. It'll be whatever. We'll probably barbecue, just do some kind of a barbecue. It'll be well done, but it'll be some kind of barbecue.
We asked a little girl, like, hey, little girl, what do you want to have for Easter dinner? She says, she looked me dead in the eye. Like a 65-year-old sailor, kind of deep, like looked me in the eye and she said, brats. I'm like, okay, I guess we're having Easter brats. She wanted brats. We're gonna have that. What are you thinking you're gonna have there, Keon, or at least what did you have when you were growing up?
Well, yeah, when I was growing up, my family's Caribbean, so we just had all of the Caribbean staples.
Jerk, everything,
the rice and beans. Well, my mom didn't actually make a jerk chicken or anything like
Can
that.
you
But she
explain
did-
to them that I'm not just calling you names? That's actually like a seasoning or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that there's enough,
Jerk.
jerk flavored things that people are familiar with it. I think.
Yeah, a lot of
but-
Ralph flavored things out there, huh?
Oh no. But yeah, no, my mom made a curry chicken and roti, which the only best way I can really describe that is it's kind of like this naan bread thing that you have with the curry. Yeah, it was always good. It was always good.
Well, Big George is stirring the pot
Oxtail.
right now.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what does ox taste like? I never had ox.
Good, really good.
Good doesn't tell me. What does it taste like? Does it taste like deer? Does it taste like
it tastes,
beef?
it tastes closer to beef.
All right.
Yeah.
I've had buffalo. I've had ostrich. I've had rattlesnake. I've had alligator. Yeah, I don't need to have it again. By the way, my wife asked me. She's like, "Well, maybe for your because my wife is Spanish, Spaniard Spanish, and sometimes we have Spanish foods. When other people have traditional, and it's always delicious. I always am thrilled. And she like we've been married 7 years. We've been together. I believe 9. I don't know. And she asked me for the first time ever. She's like, "Do you want to eat something more, along the lines of your heritage?" And I was like, "No." And she's like, "Well, wait. Like I'm English Irish, more Irish than English, but those are my pasty ass people." And I said, "Listen, all the food from the UK." Do you realize these people are still eating food like they think the Germans are flying overhead and it's all awful and depressing without flavor? Everybody still thinks they're using ration cards over there. Do you think I want any of the cuisine from that? They're boiling toast. That's how they do things in England. I said, no bueno. Whatever you want to make is fine with me, but you leave my hunky people out of this. I did the ones with the bad teeth. Anyway, so I just was curious what you guys were eating. I don't know. I mean, ham seems. I don't know. It's like they couldn't think of something. I don't know. You know what I mean? Okay, you got turkey for Thanksgiving. Ham just seems like well, we couldn't think of anything else. What do you guys usually have for Christmas dinner? Not ham, right?
No, I mean we have. So mine's more Italian. So we'll have some kind of a pasta. It's typical raviolis usually, or a gnocchi with meatballs and sauce and that kind of a meal is what we typically have.
Well, once I realized I'm a grown up and I can do what I want, Christmas is about steak. That's what we do on that one. Anyway, I don't know. I was just curious. Yeah, you can do $5 steak night, man. Just give it a shot.
That's true. It's just I usually go to see my family, so it is considered rude.
Are you sad?
It is. I mean, just that I can't add steak to all the delicious stuff they've already made. Yeah, I mean a little.
No. I mean, are you going to be with family this Sunday, or are you sad because you're just hanging out with your brother? I mean, I know that that's still family, but a lot of times you don't feel like your brother is family, but you're not really family. Like that's that jerk over there,
Well, no, we feel like family, but it's not. We live together, so it's not like a special get together kind of event. We just hang out.
What about your girlfriend?
Yeah, not
does not want to talk about
not an
her.
Easter celebrator. So
no, not a Easter.
I mean, me neither. We're not religious, really. So it's just
you don't have to be religious.
I'm just not to celebrate Easter. You don't have to be.
Well, most of the world isn't religious. They celebrate Easter with the Easter bunny and that kind of crap. I mean, that's not really Easter.
Yeah, well, I'm like, I'm 33, so like the Easter bunny's kind of ruled out for me. I don't have any kids.
If you have a girlfriend, you guys can role play.
Easy. Easy.
Well, you know what?
Somebody could be a bunny, and
I would rather not. If that's
all
right.
You're not a furry. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that is correct.
He established that the other day, Ralph.
Did he? Yeah. Okay. We had a furry conversation.
I'm in fact, and I didn't start it. we had a text about it.
Wow.
Pinocchio makes a very, very good point. It says, England, yeah, you burnt and pillaged the world in search of spice routes, yet you use none of it in your cooking.
So true.
I agree. Twitty, it says, beef Wellington's about the only British food worth a damn. I don't know if I've ever had beef Wellington. What is beef Wellington? I know there's beef and possibly Wellington. I don't know what it means. What is beef Wellington?
Isn't it some kind of a gravy or a sauce or something?
I'm thinking sauce. You're probably right.
Yeah.
Gravy.
It's disgusting.
Is it? I don't
Everything
know.
English is disgusting.
Twitty, it likes it. I'm Irish, so I mean, like it's worse than England. In Ireland, they're like, okay, so here's what we're gonna do. All the stuff that's left over from that animal there is gonna go, and we're gonna put a crust on it called pie. So you think it's like, ooh, pie, and that's too late. Got to eat. Or
We have the
die.
corned beef and stuff, right? Corned beef and hash. And I like corned beef. Corned beef's good.
Oh, let's take the worst meat we can find and oversalt it. Ooh, yum, yum, yummy, yum, corned beef. Anyway, let's talk about the baseball since that happened last night. And it was no surprise because, it's the way it should be. And I love how the Diamondbacks scored there too. They did. They got their 2 runs. Like I told you, they're good for 2 runs in any contest. Not so much the winning part, but they're good for the 2 runs. And so 5-2 for the Dodgers. And that kid, May, is looking pretty good for you, Ralph.
Yeah, I like him a lot. He's coming off of Tommy John, and he looks really good. I think he's got a shot at he could be one of the top guys in the National League this year, I think. So
and then, of course, opening up the game there, it was the first home game for the Diamondbacks. Tyler Moldovan went out and threw out this ceremonial first pitch. That was that police officer got shot up pretty badly back in September of 21. And, he was on life support and in the hospital like 6 months before he got to even come home. So that was nice to see that. That was a nice moment. So tonight, the Diamondbacks have Bumgarner. I know. Shut up. Shut up, man. Shut up.
Against who? Kershaw.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. It
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
Kershaw.
We'll get our 2 runs. Who cares what you get? It is just, listen, I didn't promise anything about the Diamondbacks. So you see how we're not making any bets?
We will.
Oh, wait a second. Lost Toby says, do Irish nachos count?
What's that?
Wait a second. That's not a sex thing, is it? I've never heard of Irish nachos. Well, they were there and she gave me an Irish nacho. Swear to God.
Never heard of it.
Lost Toby says, no, Bumgarner's pitching solid 7 innings, man.
Yeah, right.
In a
season?
row?
Yeah,
In a
all
row?
season. He'll throw 7 innings.
Crap. The only time Dodger Danny comes out, Dodger Danny says, as a Dodger fan, let me say sincerely, I thought it was awesome seeing the Diamondback vans. Where were their Diamondback vans? Says they really packed the house last night. Oh, I think it was a typo.
Fans?
He might have meant fans. Did they really? No, I don't think they did. I'm
Well, it
going
was
to
opening
guess.
day.
Dodger Danny, I'm going to guess most of those were Dodger fans, and you're just being sarcastic.
Maybe not. I mean, like Ralph just said, it's opening day for the Diamondbacks. So, I mean, the best time to go see the Diamondbacks and support them is long before the season's over. You still have some hope there that maybe you can have a decent year and all of that stuff. And
Not as bad as being a Nationals fan right now. Don't try to paint us with your brush, Keon. We actually won some games already.
Okay, I was trying to give you a compliment.
No, it feels backhanded. That feels backhanded.
It's a straight
feels
up
like
compliment.
you're talking about your team.
No, nobody showed up to watch our team. By the way, look. I was trying to give you a compliment, and now you just turned it back on me.
My people, the Irish, were not good at taking the compliment.
Yeah, well,
I thought you were just coming at me. That's what I thought.
No,
I
it's just-
apologize. I'm sorry about that.
It's
Here,
just-
have a drink. Pour yourself a beer. There you go.
a good fan base. Even if your team's not great, you at least show up for the first one that you have in the building.
Against the Dodgers? No, I don't know. I think I'm coming to a game we might win. So I got a text from Lost Toby showing me Irish nachos, which looks like potatoes au gratin with sour cream, which actually might not be too bad, but I don't like potatoes au gratin. Maybe we did it with potato chips. If you there's a picture of one where it's just like Ruffles and nacho stuff on top of it. But I'm just like, I don't want it that way. I want Mexican nachos or Spanish nachos, or why mess with a good thing? Listen, we don't need to bring my ethnic background into the kitchen here. There's way better things we could be eating. A random texter says beef Wellington was made in England on accident. Some guy just spilled his tea on his steak. When he did it, his wife looked at him and scowled and said, well, he said, don't worry, I'm still willing to eat it. Is that, I want to have that. Yeah, Wellington. I would like to see if the historian could confirm that. Dodger Danny says, I was not being sarcastic. I was being genuine. It was louder for Diamondback fans than I've ever seen it against the Dodgers. There were a lot more Diamondback fans there. And yes, a lot more Dodger fan page. Stick D-back van showed up. All right. I didn't get the rest of that text, but I'm glad to hear that there were more Diamondback fans in the park last night. Like, at least get that from your weird California texting there. Big George says, no, he's being sarcastic. I watched the game on TV and most of the fans there were wearing Dodger blue. See, now we have conflicting stories.
Well, I'm going to trust the person that was in the building because sometimes, the TV broadcast
over our legal counsel. I mean, it is George, though.
I mean, but he saw it on TV. He doesn't even live here. I'm going to trust the guy that's in the state.
Well, maybe the camera. Yeah, maybe the camera was hitting a lot of blue. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
it's Patrick says yesterday was opening day, so yeah, majority of fans were there for 80%. 80% plus of them were Dodger fans. Oh, so he is actually saying I'm right. I'm very confused now. Watermelon says, Jeffrey, quick question. I'm really debating whether I want to answer it. But with your wife being from Spain, has she made you paella before? It's big in our family. It's awesome meal in one dish. No, I've not heard of that. We went when we got married in a castle in Spain, actually. And while we were there, we tried those tapas everybody talks about. And both of us looked at each other. We're like, Mexican food's better. Mexican food is better than Spanish food. So Kyle G says the British and the Irish were faced with a dilemma of having their mother's cooking stink. British went all over the world searching for good food. The Irish, they just made whiskey. Yeah, I think our solution was a lot better. And Lost Toby says Big George saw the Dodger broadcast. The one I saw had more D-bag fans. Okay, so that's what it is. So it depends on what you're watching. So the Dodger guys are looking with their cameras for Dodger fans, and he is in California.
Yeah, so he's going to be seeing the Dodger broadcast.
All right, we're going to go back to believing Dodger Danny, even though it annoys me to do so. All right, so tonight they play again. I'm sure we'll just try to ignore that. We got other things, and I don't even know if I'm going to watch the Suns game tonight.
Oh, jeez.
Come on, man. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Although there is that slight bit of curiosity, and how funny will it be? Oh my God. Promise me something, Ralph.
Okay.
If the Suns win tonight, you're on the show Monday.
Done.
All right. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Grand slams, no hitters, double plays, they're all back, and there's no better place to get in on the MLB action than on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can step up to the plate with a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. Just go to FanDuel.com/Randy1580 and sign up. Then place your first bet. Get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win. That's FanDuel.com/Randy1580 to sign up. Don't miss your chance to get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000 when you join FanDuel today. Just go to FanDuel.com/Randy1580 and sign up. FanDuel, official partner of Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission. You must be 21 or older, present in Arizona. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342.
When you run a business, you need to be in control. And while you can't control everything that happens in the world of business, you can definitely take control of your utility expenses with the help of Harmon Solar. Give them a call and see how your company can save up to 80% on that monthly electric bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Harmon Solar is a local family-owned company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
The Masters returns to 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, presented by Kasai Japanese Steakhouse.
There it is, a win for the Ancients.
Listen for updates from the Masters throughout the day with live look-ins, highlights, and the latest news and info from Augusta.
Is it his time? Yes!
The Masters on The Fanatic is presented by Kasai Japanese Steakhouse, where it's not just dinner, it's dinnertainment. Follow along with the 87th Masters Tournament on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
In business, everything your employees do impacts your brand, including what they wear. Cintas has high-performance workplace apparel for almost every job imaginable. From work shirts and pants, to polos and khakis, to Oxfords or t-shirts, these clothes move, breathe, and look great. Your team gets the styles they like, you convey the image you want. And Cintas service includes weekly laundry and delivery. To learn more, visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Download the Fanatic app. News, scores, social media updates, and more on your smartphone, on your tablet. The free Fanatic app, available at the Google Play Store or the App Store, and at 1580thefanatic.com.
Splendor here on 1580 The Fanatic. And, well, that's a good question. Miss Pink Pie wants to know if the pot pie is Irish. No, the pot pie is American because it tastes good. You know, might have been inspired by a true story, but trust me, it's fully an American thing. I still love me a good pot pie. I forgot. Remember those? You get the Swanson pot pies like 50 cents a piece or something?
Yeah.
Oh, I still love those. I was at my mom's visiting earlier in the year here, and she opened up oh my gosh, she's got pot pies. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have pot pies. It takes 2 of them for me to be full now, but that's $1. You know what I'm saying? I was like, hell yeah, get me some pot. So I came home and told my wife, I like some pot pies, and she's patted me on the head and said, go upstairs. All right. I'm gonna get me some pot pies though. 888-368-1580. Lost Toby says, wait, you're bringing him back Monday? Never mind. I'm rooting for the Lakers now. And earlier he says, I got money on the Suns. Oh, that's funny.
I do too, actually, just because the odds are so ridiculous that just in case,
well.
you know, it's like a parlay sized payout, but it's just one bet on the money line.
Chuck a buck.
Yeah.
You know, see what happens.
Yeah.
So, you know, here's the thing. Now, the Suns don't need this. You know, the Lakers may not need this. But I'll tell you who needs a win, who needs to play. It's the Mavericks. And it was just announced a little bit earlier that Kyrie Irving and 5 other Mavericks have been ruled out. This is not throwaway. For them, this is a must-win game against the Bulls. Yep. And so, I mean, this is bad timing. Bad timing. What in the hell is going on with the Mavericks, Keon?
Yeah, I'm not entirely certain what is going on with the Mavericks, if they're seriously trying to get into the play-in, or if they've just given up and decided, screw it, we're a lottery team now.
Like they know they have no choice.
But they're half a game back. Like, yeah, they could, you know, get past OKC and get that 10th spot.
You know the team, so let me tell you who's out. Kyrie Irving, no biggie. Tim Hardaway Jr., Josh Green, Max Kleber, and Christian Wood. Can they win a game without those guys?
Those are the starters.
Oh,
I mean, it's everybody but Luka.
Well, don't get mad. I'm just asking the question.
No, I'm not mad at, like, I'm kind of mad at them because I'm just like, if you're a Mavs fan and you can make the play-in, I would be mad if that were my team just giving up like that, half a game back from just being in it. Those are all the starters. I just don't understand why you would wave the white flag like that.
They will have Luka. Who's he's got an owie on his thigh. I don't know. Maybe he's hurt.
Yeah, no, Luka's been hurt. He's playing through it. So it's just either the other guys are just, you know, look, guys, play if you want to, but no, Luka, they were thinking about shutting down Luka, and Luka was basically like, no, I refuse.
So Mark Cuban's like, we're not tanking. I swear to God, we're not tanking.
The thing is, if you were tanking, why'd you trade for Kyrie? It just seems like you're
he's sensitive to that because in 2018 he paid $600,000 and he says we are totally tanking everybody. Remember when he admitted it? They're like,
yeah, don't do that. You never do that. You deny, even if it's very obvious that that's what you're doing. I mean, look at Greg Popovich.
So, all right. So, well, the Mavericks are screwed. That's, I think, the best way to look at it. Good for the Bulls, I guess. So, I saw this story where they're talking about Bronny James and what his trajectory might be. Now, Keon, you know better than anybody around here about the college basketball and about, how things start for our NBA players. And so there's some trains of thought. One is you go to USC, go to Oregon, go to Ohio State, which is probably big on the list for his dad, who's Mr. Ohio, or G League. All he's got to do is be 19 years old, a year out of high school. It doesn't matter if he does go to college. He can do what he needs to do in the G League. But which path that is before him is the smartest, the best path? Don't talk to me about education. It's LeBron James' billion-dollar baby, so that doesn't matter. So what is his best path to the NBA to play with his dad?
I mean, when you're at that talent level, either path probably works. I would
talent level is not absolute though.
Yeah. I just
we'll
think
get to that in a minute.
I just think that the G League path has been working for a lot of guys lately. The projected number 2 pick in this draft, Scoot Henderson, took the G League path. And a lot of guys have been taking it, and it's been working out. You can be a top lottery pick. You're going to be right in front of every NBA scout. You're going to be, coached at an NBA kind of level, and you don't have to go through the motions of pretending that you're a student. So I would say take the G League path if that's the way you're going to go. It's not like if Bronny James goes to the NBA and washes out for whatever reason, it's not like he can't go back to school. He doesn't need a scholarship. His dad's LeBron. So,
right.
It's just, I would take the G League path. Let's just get away from the pretense of education, because that's not what Bronny James is going to school for.
Education, like say he's trying to get a business degree. Well, that's something different. Yeah. Education, though, in the way that there are things he needs to work on in his game. LeBron James showed up right out of high school ready to kill everyone. Bronny is good. He's really good, but there are some deficits in the way he plays. He doesn't do well when people are up in his face. He doesn't do well to break free of good defense. If you give him an open shot, bam, he's money. He's got a dunk, bam, he's money. But there is struggles, and people have noticed he gets any sort of opposition as he's coming down the court. That's where he will start to stumble. Unlike his dad, who I don't know if you saw the other night when they were playing. I saw the Lakers where they're playing the Clippers. They double teamed LeBron so he wouldn't get the ball in the backcourt, because once he has the ball and he gets a head of steam coming, there is no stopping that.
No,
Bronny James is not that guy, or at least not that guy yet. Wouldn't it be better for him to learn that skill in college games, or is it still better for him to learn that skill in the G League?
I think you can learn it in the G League. I mean,
but where is the best place for it? You know what I'm saying?
I personally, I would think the G League, just because you're going to be going up against, other elite talent on a nightly basis, not necessarily guaranteed, and you play in college, depending on where you play. I mean, if he plays out in the Pac-12, you're going up against top tier guys every night. You go out and play Ohio State. Big Ten basketball, I don't know that even teaches you what you need to be in the NBA. So I would say just go to the G League. I mean, you're going
hold on.
Yeah.
How many games they play the G League? Like a G League season, I guess.
I don't know off the top of my head, but I think
is it more than you play in college?
Yeah, a bit more.
So you play more in the G League than you do in college.
Yeah.
Then now it sounds like it should be the G League, because he needs as much opportunity as he can to work on that aspect of his game before his feet hit an NBA court, if he really wants to go, Mr. Big Time.
And were you going to say something, Ralph?
I'm letting you finish.
Okay. I just think that also in college, college is so much more team oriented, and then you get to the NBA, and then, a lot of the guys who are really great individually that maybe didn't get to shine in college, they start to step up in the NBA. I mean, if you look at what Michael Jordan, for instance, did when he was at North Carolina, you could see kind of indicators that Michael Jordan was going to be that guy, but he wasn't going to get those opportunities at North Carolina. I think you're going to get those opportunities if you're on a G League team with a staff that's going to be more like an NBA kind of staff, that's going to be coaching you to play the NBA game.
Ralph, I heard you mutter college would be better.
Well, I mean, I think personally, it just depends on the experience he's looking for, right? You're going to get, in my opinion, you're going to get a better experience in college because it's a more high-end experience, especially if he goes to a top program with a top coach. The way they treat those players and how the overall thing is there, I think the environment is a lot better than G League. G League to me is the minor leagues, and maybe they don't have the money that a school has that they put into the programs. It depends on the experience. Now, I'm not going to argue the fact that he probably will have better overall coaching and overall opportunity in a G League, but and again, to be a student athlete in college is very hard. So I don't know how he is as a student. I don't know if he's a good student or a bad student. If he's a bad student, stay away from college because it's really, really hard. But if you're a good student, go to college, get that 1 year experience. You can always go back later and get a degree if you really want to. But I just think overall, your experience factor is going to be better at a good college program.
And there's no way anyone takes their tests for them. No way at all.
There's no way, but you still have to show up to class and all this other stuff. And like just schedule your time. Like you do have to physically show up. And when you sit down in the class to take those tests, for instance, you can't have your test taken for you. Like basketball is not as intensive, for instance, as football. Like there are going to be opportunities for you to be in class taking your tests. And there have been plenty of players who have managed to not be academically eligible because they took their own tests.
The schedule he'll have in college will be absolutely nuts. It'll be a 5 a.m. to midnight every day schedule of classes and studying and homework and practice.
Good for you.
It is good for you. It builds character, but also he'll be able to make a lot of nice money with the NILs in college as well. I'm sure he'll make a ton of money compared to anything he would make in the G League.
Yeah. There's another thing. Pinocchio says college stars get laid more than G League stars.
I don't think that's going to be a problem for Bronny. Yeah, I don't know how you would even know that, but I feel like Bronny James is going to be okay.
Pinocchio lights his pipe and says,
I'm just looking at the top 5 picks right now in the NBA draft. Only one of those guys went to school. Everybody else is either Victor Wembanyama, who's coming from Europe, Scoot Henderson, G League, and then you got the Thompson brothers, who are coming from the Overtime Elite thing, which is a whole new thing, which is Overtime Elite is basically it's not school, but you're just going into this bubble where all you do is eat, breathe, and sleep basketball.
Yeah, they do that.
That's it. So, and no one's actually sure necessarily about the quality of these things, but the scouts that go there seem to still like, the Thompson brothers. So like, if you want to make it to the NBA, the college path is not as necessary as it used to be.
Billy Ray from Avondale says Bronny James is a lot like Walter Payton's son when he played football. His name is what's giving him this opportunity. Now, I got to give credit where credit is due. Bronny James has a sweet shot. Yeah, he's open. He'll nail it. It's like a thing where you just catch, shoot, bang. He's on top of that. He's a machine. He can dunk. He can do all this thing. He just has a little trouble when he's running up against opposition. So, I mean, imagine he can learn. That is an aspect he can learn. His dad didn't need to learn it because his dad was a completely different creature. So give Bronny James a little more credit that he's as good as he is, but doesn't mean he has to be as good as his dad.
But his name is probably helping him a little bit. There's a lot of quality young guys out there that play ball that aren't named James that may not get the same look that he'll get because of his last name. So I can't argue that point.
No, I agree. Baker's Cocky Hen says Timmy is the perfect example of a dude who understood and took advantage of the college atmosphere. Who's Timmy?
I'm guessing Tim Duncan. And I mean, that's the perfect.
He spelled it T-I-M-M.
But we also are talking about a dude in Tim Duncan Drew Timmy, the guy from Gonzaga. Yeah, because he's been there for like 7 years. Graduate already, Drew.
Yeah, Boomer Sooner says, guys, Ralph is right. These kids have to handle a ton of pressure. Grades, sports, girls, media, professors. You get the point. Well, I mean, just because it's easier doesn't mean it's the best for you. So maybe Ralph is right. Maybe some college time would do him well. He only needs 1 year anyway, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, guys. That's 1 hour down and another to go. We're going to keep talking some NBA when we come back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
From the Augusta National Golf Club, Westwood One Sports presents this special report on the Masters. I'm Ted Emmerich. Right about now is when players should have been wrapping up the second round. Instead, about half the field will have to do that tomorrow morning, starting at 8 Eastern. Last hour, Augusta National halted play for good today because of lightning just south of the course. Sam Bennett finished his second round, and he's put together the best amateur performance through 36 holes at Augusta in nearly 70 years. Bennett, the senior from Texas A&M, 8 under, 4 back of the leader Brooks Koepka. Ken Venturi was an amateur in 1956 when he was 9 under midway through the tournament. So is Bennett a scoreboard watcher?
In college tournaments, I'm constantly looking at golf stat on my phone. I like knowing where I'm at, kind of what I need to do. But no, this week I was just looking at them. I mean, I'm at Augusta National, a dream come true, playing in the amateur, just to see my name up there with all the red numbers. Those big scoreboards, I mean, they're huge. So, no, I wasn't looking to where I was at. I was just kind of soaking it all in, I guess.
Bennett in solo third behind major champions Brooks Koepka and Jon Rahm. You're listening to coverage of the 2023 Masters on Westwood One.
Remembering great moments in golf history, sponsored by Prevagen. Prevagen is the most recommended memory support brand by pharmacists. 1972 U.S. Open at Pebble Beach in California. At the 71st hole, Jack Nicklaus hit one of the most iconic shots ever en route to his third of 4 U.S. Open titles. Nicklaus hit a 1-iron at the par 3 17th that hit the flagstick and settled within tap-in range for the birdie. The win was Nicklaus's 13th major victory, tying him with a great Bobby Jones for the most ever. With this great moment in golf history, I'm Kevin Cooper.
SpringFest savings is here at Lowe's. Don't miss out on the best deals of the season, like 3 free bags of Miracle-Gro garden soil when you buy 3. Plus, save on other items like select laundry pairs. Get an additional $100 off select laundry pairs when you spend $1,296 or more. Head to your local Lowe's or visit Lowe's.com to shop SpringFest savings today. Valid for 4/12. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for details.
Brooks Koepka has put together the third best 36-hole score in Masters history, and he doesn't have to mess with an early morning in the rain and cold to finish his second round. Let's check the leaderboard, sponsored by Prevagen. Prevagen is the most recommended memory support brand by pharmacists. Koepka 12 under halfway through. That ranks behind only Jordan Spieth, who was 15 under in 2015, and Raymond Floyd, who was 13 under in 1976. Both Spieth and Floyd ended up earning the green jacket. Jon Rahm will be back on the course Saturday morning. He had about 55 feet for birdie at 10 when play was stopped. Rahm 9 under, 3 back. Tiger Woods is 2 over. He'll resume tomorrow in Amen Corner. From Augusta, I'm Ted Emmerich, Westwood One Sports.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time
for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside not Randy White. We have Ralph from Harmon Solar filling in. We got Keon Rose in the control room, and we got you guys on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. You know, Ralph,
yeah,
I feel like it's been a few years since I've said, hey, what's going on at Harmon Solar?
It's been a couple years.
We have all the commercials going, all that stuff, but I mean, every time I ask you, you're like, nothing. So I kind of gave up. But what is the latest in the world of Harmon Solar?
I mean, this is our busy season, right? This is when it really starts to pick up. So we've been getting swamped.
Yes, all hands on deck. All the important people must be at work at all times. Not you, Ralph.
No, not me.
You can be here.
Yeah, no, thank God. I don't have to be in the office all the time. But no, it's just it's ramping up and getting busy for us. I told you we expanded into Oklahoma City, and that's going well. And we're actually looking to expand in a couple other places. I think Kansas, Texas, Florida. So
Kansas,
yeah.
Well,
Kansas.
you better bolt them sons of bitches down hard because them tornadoes come through. It ain't like Augusta where just a couple of trees fall.
We put little wings on them so they just kind of take off. It's kind of cool.
Oh, aerodynamic. That's smart.
Yeah. So that's a lot going on with that. I mean, a lot of expansion talk and some different things. So it's been very, very busy there. It's been really good.
That's good to hear. Well, tell them if they're interested in solar, where do they go? You give them the websites, give them the phone numbers, give them, as the kids say, the 411.
Yeah, so you can actually you can go to harmonsolar.com, and on the top of the page there's actually this click link now where you can get in there and you can see your house and how good it'll be for solar. It'll give you an idea. It'll actually tell you what size system it thinks that your house could take.
Ooh,
and
I want to
what
do
kind
that.
of cost. So it's like a little thing we got set up there. So go ahead and try that. It's pretty cool. And outside of that, you can give us a call at 800-281-3189. And Giovanna's there to take your call and get some information from you.
She's still there?
She's still there. I haven't fired her yet. I've thought about it a couple times.
I figured she'd have quit by now.
Yeah, she talked back to me a couple times. I almost fired her, but but she's all right. She's been there for about 6 years, so I let her stay. But yeah, so 800-281-3189, or go on the website at harmonsolar.com. Check out that new tool that we have up there to kind of take a look at your house, and you can actually even set an appointment through there if you wanted to.
So I just clicked on the thing to get the estimate. Is that actually Hannah, or is that just make believe Hannah?
That's make believe Hannah. They were going to put my picture on there and say Hannah. I was like, no.
I was like, that's an AI. Come on.
Yeah, it's a total AI.
All right. Well, I'm going to do that later. Let me tell you, this is, I swear to God, the reason I haven't gotten the solar is because it would be at the front of my house. And it would be,
right.
I didn't know how that would affect anything. Then I realized I hate my neighbors, don't care what they think. So I just have to get them damn solar panels up there anyway.
Some people don't like it in the front. Some people don't care. It just depends. I mean, I don't think it looks bad.
No, I mean, I'm never out there, so what do I care? 888-368-1580. And so yeah, I'm gonna run that simulator just to see what it has to say. Cool. We were talking NBA and stuff in the last hour, so I don't see why we don't keep it going here. First off, does anybody have any interest in seeing that Nike commercial with the Affleck brothers or whoever it is, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck? I think it's about Nike.
The Air movie there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they really went on a limb to name that movie. So anybody watching this thing?
It could be interesting.
Where is it on? Where do you watch this? Is it just like in theaters only bull crap, or is it going to be on a stream or something?
I mean, I think it's going to be on a stream eventually, but I think they'd like to make some money in theaters first. Try and see how that goes.
Yeah. I'm looking here just to see Air. Where do you find this thing? Where can I watch Air? It's HBO Max or Netflix. Wait, what? Oh, that's gonna be free, unless I'm looking at the wrong Air. Boy. No, that's it. Ben Affleck plays Phil Knight. Matt Damon plays his lover, Sonny Vaccaro. Viola Davis plays Dolores Jordan. Chris Tucker plays Howard White. I don't think anybody plays Michael Jordan in this, do they? I'm trying to see if they have anybody playing Michael Jordan. They got somebody playing his dad, James Jordan.
Should have somebody playing him, right? He's kind of pivotal.
He's kind of pivotal, but a lot of the negotiations actually went through Jordan's parents. So you really don't need anybody to play Jordan at all.
Right. And Jordan actually said to one of these idiots, Ben Affleck or Matt Damon, is that if you do this movie, my blessing only comes if you hire Viola Davis to play my mom. And so they're like, hell yeah, she's an amazing actress. Why wouldn't we want that? And they got her. So that's why this movie is on.
I just find it very odd that we have made a movie about the branding of Michael Jordan before we made a movie about Michael Jordan. Cut from his high school team,
right.
Had to work his ass off,
Who's
came back
play
better.
Him, though? You know what I mean? You gotta find somebody who actually has similarities and likeness to him.
Yeah, but I mean, we have a a TV
unique
series where somebody played Tyson and actually wasn't bad. I just think you got to try somebody, but just the story of Jordan I find infinitely more interesting than the story of how Nike got famous because of Jordan.
Well, in this movie though, you can have like actual footage of him in the background as part of it, and then his mom and dad doing the drama there between them and Nike.
Yeah, but I just
works out. I think
like it was released straight to Disney Plus, but we have a movie about Giannis.
Yeah, I never saw that. Was it any good?
I don't know, but there's a Giannis
movie.
There's no Jordan movie.
Maybe Jordan is waiting until they can find just the right
series
actor.
on HBO about the Showtime Lakers. There's no Jordan movie.
Pretty cool series too. Maybe he doesn't want to have
it is actually good. Maybe he doesn't, but
Was that Caswell, the Lakers thing?
It's okay. I mean, it was
hit or miss. I thought that
see what I'm saying? It's hard to find people who look
Kareem
and
Magic
sound
casting was pretty good.
exactly
kind of
right.
cool though. Yeah, the Magic casting is good. Dr. Bus is not bad. It's kind of cool to see how they did a bunch of things early on.
And you also have to remember they're acting. So, you have to allow for a little bit, but it's always better when, like, the Elvis movie, I'll never watch it. I'll never watch it because I'm like, that dude don't look like Elvis. Oh, when you watch the movie, you start to believe. No, I won't. I don't want to see this movie.
I don't like that movie at all. So I'm connected to Elvis, and I don't like that movie.
How are you connected to Elvis?
So I thought I told you this. My dad was Elvis's tailor. He made all his outfits. So all those white outfits that he made.
Right. Oh, the jumpsuits.
Right.
Yeah.
My dad made all that stuff. They actually had a thing on my dad on the news
cool, man.
a few months ago out in Phoenix. He lives out here now, but yeah, he made all. I remember him bringing that stuff home and carrying it because he had to make it bigger because he was so fat. But we were really connected.
We were let it out again.
But I saw part of that movie and I just did not like it.
So the stakes are maybe a little bit higher for you. That's to me, that was a very perfect let's get hammered and watch this movie. And I regretted nothing. That was fun.
There's some movies where the only way you can watch them is altered. So you agree with me on the casting, right? Or you hate that movie for another reason?
I don't like the way they almost tried to turn it into a musical. It kind of felt, it was really weird. Some of the camera shooting was very strange. I just didn't like it. I thought it was done really, really awkwardly, and it could have been done different and better. So that's just
my theory is that Hollywood still wants to make musicals, but nobody cares anymore.
Right.
And the only socially acceptable musical in today's day and age is a biopic about a musician.
Yeah, I agree.
Well,
it's just
when
weird.
You bring it, so let's bring it back to old Michael Jordan. That's a tough one because if you don't look exactly like him, if you don't, I mean, you don't have to play like him. That crap they can fake, right? Wires and stuff, as long as you kind of look right and your tongue can come out and then maybe, and you sound right.
I find it hard to believe that since Jordan retired, nobody has looked enough like Michael Jordan to pass as Jordan.
Well, tell us who that is. Let's get him some acting lessons and sign him up because I don't know. Maybe, and here's what it is. And it may not be even the producers, directors, writers. Maybe it's Michael Jordan himself when they say, "Hey, we're going to do a movie about you," and he's like, "Who do you got to play me?" Oh, that guy. Nah. No, and maybe he is on Team Jeffrey with this, like who looks like me or acts like me. And maybe for him, it's plays like me. Maybe he thinks, well, whoever does that had better be able to do the same kind of stuff as I do.
Or maybe he doesn't
saw what
want...
he did as an owner of a team. He got in there and meddled and mucked about and I don't think he's making the process better as well.
I think there's a lot of stuff in his life that he probably would rather not have in a movie.
Also true. Maybe that's more of it.
I think maybe that's a big part of it where you're going to see somebody make that movie after he's gone. But right now, I don't think you're going to see that movie made.
Maybe, but this is a man who had basically complete editorial control over The Last Dance. I find it hard to believe he wouldn't have control over whatever they made in a movie. If he didn't want it in there, it ain't going to be in there. It could really just be the positive, like underdog Michael Jordan origin story. It doesn't have to be, his whole
It's
career.
just like with Magic in the Showtime. I mean, there's a lot of stuff about Magic that's just not very good.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a hardcore playboy. He was basically a slut. I mean, so
I would say not basically. He was actually
So it kind of takes away from his game and what he was really known for. So maybe Michael just doesn't want that. I don't
just
know.
like the gambling stuff. Let's not remind everybody about that again. Yeah.
And maybe he doesn't want to relive what happened with his dad, that sort of thing.
Possible.
So whatever the case. But for me, it would be more about, do you got the right actor, somebody who could actually be believable as Michael Jordan? That is the part, because nothing bugs me more than having to look at a movie and go, okay, I have to pretend like this is that guy.
I love Moneyball. I think Moneyball is a very fun movie.
Great movie.
Billy Bean and Brad Pitt don't look anything.
Right.
I mean,
well,
Billy Bean sat there and was like, "Hey, they got Brad Pitt."
But most people don't know what Billy Bean looks like.
Exactly. Nobody, most people didn't have any idea. So you're just like, doesn't matter to me. Sure, maybe that guy did look like Brad Pitt. Sure, that's a chance. So that's all right. But when you are one of the most recognizable faces on the planet for, say, the last 35 years, it does matter who you cast as that. It's just why I can't believe that Elvis did as well as it did and won awards and stuff. I thought it was so bad it killed off Lisa Marie. That's what I think happened, but that's just me.
That's terrible.
Damn.
He did a good job actually singing the stuff. I mean, it was all him. And I thought he was pretty decent. Just, you're right. He doesn't look anything like him. It was a hard sell.
It was a hard sell. It was like I said, I had to be very inebriated to buy that he was Elvis.
You'd have to be, pretty damn good.
Now, I'm going to pass. The other thing, I've never seen Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. To me, there's only been 3 Indiana Jones movies. What movie are you talking about? Huh?
I saw that.
No, I've seen the movie too. I just haven't. I just haven't seen the movie, if you know what I mean. It doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned.
Block it out of your mind. It's not part of anything. But
why?
You know, with this new movie, I've seen the trailer and I'm like, is this one gonna be right? Is this one gonna be okay?
They're so good at making trailers. I can't tell sometimes.
Trailers are better than movies, yeah.
Well, no, hold on. The Crystal Skull bleep, that trailer was no, I wasn't enough to make me go, hey, this is gonna be great. I was just like, why are you doing why is Shia the douchebag in this? But now I've seen this one with him, and they have that age reduction filter. It's like, I think it's on Instagram, and they put it on, so oh my god, he looks like young Indy, but it's actually him, but it's young Indy for a couple of scenes. You know, it's not like he can do the same crap he used to. But anyways, and so I'm watching this trailer, I'm thinking, might be okay, but I'm worried. Let me tell you why. I haven't seen the other movie, but I'm pretty sure there were aliens in that one, right? Was there aliens in that one?
I don't even remember. I watched it once and I hated it so much I never watched it again. So I don't.
Watch out for spoilers. There was a nuclear explosion and he took a ride in a lead-lined refrigerator, and that's how he lived.
That's like how the movie starts too. Like
I had no idea.
Oh no, that's the beginning. It gets so much sillier from there. There's
yeah.
No,
so,
I'm not even going to recount it. It's awful.
You see why I have trust issues on this? So I don't think I'm going to watch it when it comes out. I'm going to wait till somebody else watches it and tells me it's okay. You know, that's the same way I'm going to be with that lab grown meat. Have you heard about that?
Ugh.
They're about to release some of that lab grown meat. I'm like, well, let's just see what happens with some other people first.
Just give it a few years. And then if, no one's turned orange, cool. Let's just.
No. Yeah. You got a bunch of people getting indicted for like 34 counts of something. Yeah. It's over.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, but no, here's the thing: don't judge. And maybe this lab-grown meat someday maybe it tastes good.
There will be nothing good about it when it's all said and done. It may taste good, but
you don't know that.
10 years from now, you're going to start growing all sorts of hair and maybe a hoof. Something's going to happen. Off. Yeah, it's just no.
Well, I'm going to let everybody else go first. And if it looks like it's okay, if the coast is clear,
no hoofs.
I'll take a little something there. Why not? Billy Ray from Avondale says, they're going to be going at Bronny hard because of who his dad is when he plays. There are minimal 0 examples of father-son duo playing at the same time. Yeah, I'll be surprised if the LeBron actually hangs around effectively enough to do it, but he probably will. He probably will. I still can't believe that oh my God, LeBron is still good. That pisses me off. He is still good. I mean, he don't have the wheels he used to have, but he just comes down there, F around and find out. Oh, leave me open. 3.
Yeah.
Without even thinking about it.
I placed a bet on the Clippers to win that game the other day, but they had a close up of him before the game where he just had that look on his face. And I was like, oh God, maybe I might want to cash this one back out. I'm starting to not feel great about it because he could, if he decides he wants 35 on any night, he can't do it every night in a row like he used to, but if he wants 35, LeBron's getting 35. Like it's happening.
And he was the reason they got so damn close with the Clippers. And listen, don't let this go to your head, Ralph. I'm fair. I may hate, but I'm fair. I don't hate LeBron. I've never liked LeBron. I don't hate LeBron. I hate the Lakers. But, anyway, 888-368-1580. Hefty Lefty says, Kevin James, perfect casting for Sean Payton. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying?
That was horrible.
You watched it?
Well, I like Kevin James as an actor and a comedian.
What?
I like King of Queens and stuff like that, and I like the whole Adam Sandler.
It's the same character all the time. It's the same awkwardness all the time.
I had to watch it because it was such a terrible casting. I'm like, this has got to be stupid, and I watched it, and it was horrendous. I mean, but I just had to watch it.
Yeah,
It was like it was a train wreck. You just couldn't take your eyes off of it.
I can add that to the list for a drunk watch, but I refuse to watch that.
That's more of a heroin watch, but I mean, it was bad.
All right, well, just because I refuse to go as far as heroin, I'll just have to settle for.
You're lying there next to Ewan McGregor watching babies crawl across the ceiling, and be like, "We should watch this Kevin James thing." Colts fan Dan says only people who got vaccinated would eat grown lab meat. Well, Colts fan Dan, I get vaccinated. I'll eat you know what they should do? Put the vaccination in the lab grown meat.
Oh, God.
No, yeah, you kill two birds with one stone there, right? And I was telling my wife the other day, I was like, listen, I'll be honest with you about this whole vaccination thing. It was an emergency decision, got to do what you got to do kind of thing. I work in broadcasting. I can't be sick. So we just, all right, let's do this. But now it's all, the dust is settled, things are settled. I'm like, I don't know what was in that crap.
now you're starting to sweat.
Not sure if that was the best thing to do, but I mean, I'm not going to second guess my decision to, get through a pandemic. But at this point, I'm just like, and this is when we're going to start finding out what was really in that stuff. Then now we're going to start to, we may not have much time left. And she's like, shut up. Then I'm like, all right, fine. I'll keep getting vaccinated, but I don't know. This is the one thing I'll be able to turn and say, this is on you. I got nothing else. I had nothing. Bruno Baller says, did Ralph like the Paul Blart Mall Cop movie?
I watched the first one, not the second one, but
There's
I did watch
more
the
than
first one.
Did you
one?
like it?
Yeah, I did like the first one. I thought it was.
What?
I like Kevin James. I mean, I just like his humor. I kind of like his style. I just think.
When does the humor come in? Because I've yet to see.
He's got a humor to him. He's got a way about him. If you ever watch King of Queens is very funny.
I watched one and I felt like I watched them all.
No, come on. King of Queens is very good. I like him a lot. But I did watch Paul. I watched it. I liked it. I'm not saying it's this great, outstanding movie. A lot of movies we watch because we're just trying to waste time. And you know how you're just sitting down sometimes and you got nothing better to do. And you just throw something on to watch it. You just wasted 2 hours of your life. We do it all the time. That's one of those movies.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
do
you do.
No, you listen to me right now. I look and search for. I will sit there for 2 hours looking for something better to watch before I watch something that bad.
You get sucked into stuff. You've turned something on, and 5 minutes later you're sucked into.
No, you know what we got here. Let me tell you what it sucked us in. Is we were looking for something to watch, and it says ranked number 1. We're like, oh, let's see about this. We start watching this, and then you're like, we're in too deep. This is horrible.
Right?
This is horrible.
Exactly.
Why did we do this? Netflix said it was number 1. Like, oh my God, this country is filled with idiots. This is horrible. This is the worst thing ever.
I avoid that list. Listen, I think my time is valuable enough to me. I've paid for movies and gotten up and walked out. If it's not good and it's like, look, if it's an average movie or even a below average movie, you just go, okay, this is just not good. But when a movie is terrible, I will not sit there. I put 45 minutes in. I'm not about to put in another 45 where I can't do anything else.
I'm walked out of at least, I think 4 movies, maybe 5.
I just did it a couple weeks ago. I paid for The Whale. Because I like Brendan Fraser. And after about 10 minutes,
didn't you?
After about 10 minutes, I was like, I cannot watch another minute.
Yeah. You're like, man, I'm just
horrible.
Ooh, I need to get a bite. I walked out of Dukes of Hazzard. Walked out of I can't remember now. Starsky and Hutch. That was so damn bad. I can't remember all of them.
Did you see The Wall growing up? Did you ever go watch The Wall or Song
no.
Remains the Same?
No, I didn't do pot. No.
Oh no, really?
No.
Oh man, we used to get wasted and go watch The Wall or go watch Song Remains the Same.
Exactly. Listen, I had friends that went and
what
saw
I would
The
have
Wall.
done.
That's just great stuff, man. I mean, Keon, have you ever seen The Wall, Keon?
I have not.
Stoner should have bought a season pass for that.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those movies. If you're gonna get baked, put The Wall on. It's just, and then after that, watch Song Remains the Same. It's a good duo.
Well, I'll meet you halfway and get me some cough syrup. How's that?
Some old NyQuil with 10% alcohol.
Some Tussin.
All right, we got to take a break. We'll get caught up on the text line, and I thought we were going to talk some NBA, and we will when we come back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
From the Augusta National Golf Club, Westwood One Sports presents this special report on the Masters. I'm Ted Emmerich. 47 of 86 players were able to complete their second round before Lightning forced a suspension of play late this afternoon. Those who were on the course will return Saturday morning at 8 Eastern. Brooks Koepka leads at 12 under, 3 shots better than the field. Koepka shooting a 5 under 67 this morning. Jason Day also out this morning, and he was threatening before an awful finish. Day 5 under, 7 back.
Who knows what happens over the next 2 days? So, I mean, I'm not even trying to look at, where, I mean, obviously I know where Brooks is, but, you never know how the weather pans out. And then you could find something over the next couple of days. So go do some more work.
Yeah, work to do for Day after giving away 4 shots over the last 4 holes, 2 bogeys, and a double. You're listening to coverage of the 2023 Masters on Westwood One.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
At the United States Postal Service, we're reinventing our network to help keep your business moving. With new shipping options to deliver better value, greater flexibility to conveniently reach your customers, more confident shipping with new informed delivery features, and new electric vehicles for a cleaner, brighter future. Fast, reliable, perfectly orchestrated. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America. Learn more at USPS.com/moving forward.
Disaster averted at 17T just before play was halted a few hours ago. Wind gusts knocked over 3 pine trees near many patrons, and Augusta National officials say no one was injured. And no players were at the tee box at 17 because of the rare 18-minute gap between tee times for the groups who were moving through then. The group of Kevin Kisner, Adrian Moronk, and Louis Oosthuizen were at 17 green when the trees fell. Larry Mize, Minwoo Lee, and Harrison Crow were at 16 green. Let's check the leaderboard. Sponsored by Dell. For your small business needs, call a Dell Technologies advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. Brooks Koepka is overpowering Augusta, 12 under par. John Rahm 3 back at 9 under. Rahm has 9 holes to go in his second round. Sam Bennett in the clubhouse, 8 under overall. Colin Morikawa, Victor Hovland at 6 under. Frustration evident from Scotty Scheffler, who shot 3 over 75. The defending champ is 1 under, 11 back. He has had an awful putting week. From Augusta, I'm Ted Emmerich, Westwood One Sports.
The Masters returns to 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
There it is, a win for the ages.
Listen for updates from the Masters throughout the day with live look-ins, highlights, and the latest news and info from Augusta.
Is it his time?
Yes! The Masters on The Fanatic, a tournament unlike any other. Follow along with the 87th Masters Tournament on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, and I got a lot of catching up to do here. And it's funny because we were talking about who the heck could play Michael Jordan if they were to make a movie about him. And 2 guys in a row said, well, Michael Jordan. Michael B. Jordan could play Michael Jordan. And I'm like, no, he couldn't. I don't think he looks like Michael B. Jordan. Doesn't look like Michael Jordan.
He's a really, really good actor, but he doesn't look like Michael, so he can't play Mike.
Yeah, so Boomer Sooner and Harry Soap. I mean, he's a good actor, but no. Pinocchio says, Ralph, did you sleep in Elvis's jumpsuit pajama growing up?
No, I wasn't allowed to touch them, but more than bringing them to the garage area because I would have got killed.
Mm-hmm.
So no.
Did you meet Elvis when you were a kid?
No, and actually the funny story is my dad used to fly out to Graceland all the time, and in August of 77, when he passed away, they were getting ready to go on a European tour, and we were actually taking 3 months off school and going to go tour with him.
Oh, man.
And then he passed away, so I had to go to school, which sucked.
You
didn't care about him, cared about school. Yeah, exactly.
Stupid Elvis.
Jerk off.
Kiss the Cook says, I could give a rooster's nuts about Jordan.
Okay.
I have to ask a question. Is anybody a farmer? Do the roosters have nuts? Do they have nuts?
I don't
somewhere, probably somewhere.
Internet?
I don't
know. Are they
Right.
grape nuts?
They have to have something.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I don't.
They help to reproduce, so I'm sure there's
I
something
ain't
there.
seen like a rooster walking on TV with something swinging down. I have no idea. Gonna have to get a consult from a farmer on this one here. He says, I'll watch it to go see if Chris Tucker gets slapped in the movie. I don't know why that's a thing, but all right. Ballot 51 says Indiana Jones 5. It's going to be horrible. That aging tech will be bad. Horrible. It's just as bad as the De Niro Irishman tech. No, I've actually seen the tech work. It's wow. It's way better. I don't. Maybe it was because of Harrison Ford's face was easier. But here's what they did. They had every single foot of film that Harrison Ford had ever been in, and they kind of located it to that time period. And this computer just was able to, if it's lit that way, it was that way, it would say, okay, here's what that would look like. And no, this ain't the Irishman. Trust me, Bala 51. If that's the only reason you think it's going to be horrible, I suggest you should give it a shot.
I can't remember which Marvel movie it was, but they did that with Samuel L. Jackson. They had a young Sam Jackson.
Did that work?
I thought it looked pretty good, and it wasn't for it was a small part of the movie, so it was
right.
By the time you start to get used to it, it's already gone, so you can't really start picking out flaws and stuff.
Robert Downey Jr. in the Marvel movie when he was Iron Man, he was like sitting there talking to his dad, and before his dad got gacked. Sorry, another spoiler. And he was like young Robert Downey Jr. Yep. They did that thing there too. It was okay. It was, you tell, but no. Yeah. The Indiana Jones thing, it's next level, at least in the previews and some of the clips I've seen. So listen, I ain't saying that's why you watch it, but that shouldn't be the reason you don't. Bala 51. Blissful Hayes says Kevin James is an excellent actor. King of Queens is a funny sitcom.
Absolutely agree.
It
is. It's funny.
That's all right. Fine. That's fine. I don't have to like every sitcom. I mean. I don't like sitcoms. CK says, good afternoon, fellas. Keon, beer me, please. The Daily Blender equals Kevin James movies. Suck it, Ralph. It seems like that was like a insult there. Hey, stop pouring him a beer. Take the beer back. You don't get a beer.
Throw it on.
Insult us. Let's see. Mr. Pringle says, hey, the dime bags are in first place. Oh, that was the other day. Sorry, here's what he really said. Happy Friday, Randy. Can you pour me a cold glass of tranny fluid? I mean, Bud Light. Oh, brother. He gets nothing. He gets nothing for that.
That's kind of fun.
I don't understand why anybody would care. That's the thing that I understand. I've never been so enraged by anything where I went out and shot beer. It just seems really dumb. Heavy Metal Maniac says, I walked out on People Under the Stairs. It was god awful. Also walked out of the Batman and Robin movie. Oh, I never saw that.
Oh, I remember they had us in like a gym when we were kids, and when that movie came out. I walked out of that one, the Batman and Robin movie.
Well, you ditched a free assembly. That it was so bad.
Yeah, I was just standing outside, and the teacher was just like, "Why are you out here?" And I was like, "I don't like that." And the teacher's like, "Okay." As long as you don't leave and try and like go somewhere, you're okay.
Bruno Baller, I'm not going to read the text, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't have testicles either. Baker's Cocky Hens says, why wouldn't Michael Jordan's own son play him? His son, Jeffrey. You just need to make sure he's always smoking with Snoop so his eyes are as red as his dad's. Okay, well, let's rewind here. I'm going to ignore the second part, but go right to his sons don't even look like him.
I've never seen his son.
Yeah, his children, just look like, regular people. They don't look like his holy airness.
I understand why Magic's son wouldn't play him, but I've never seen Jordan's.
Well, why wouldn't Magic's son play him?
Have you seen Magic's son?
No. Should I look this up?
You need to look it up. Yeah.
Ballot 51 says, why can't we just have Kevin James play Michael Jordan? I'm in. Now I'm in. If you actually make a movie about Michael Jordan starring Kevin James, now I'm going to put my ass in the seat. I will pay my money. I will watch that movie.
Hey, he's pretty athletic. I would watch it.
So, I don't know who asked him to, but Kevin Durant sat down and contemplated the 80s and 90s versus today? Because I'm sure people have said, yeah, well, if you're playing in this time period, yeah, and it's true. It was tougher back in our day, in the 80s and 90s. Man, everything that happened there was a foul. Everything that happened in the 80s and 90s, the entire 80s and 90s was a foul. It was a technical foul. It was a flagrant foul. It was just nothing but nonstop fouls. The play was tougher, more physical. Why? Because it was allowed to be. And so now Kevin Durant's like, well, let me take a look at this. So he sat down and he watched a bunch of film, and on his podcast, he says, yes, it seemed tougher.
No, it
right,
was
right?
tougher. Go watch the Piston games. It was.
Yeah,
tough.
I don't know if he got the tapes from that one, but
Yeah.
he says, here's what he says. He says, I think they just got a lot away with a lot of flagrant fouls. Well, that's tougher, Kevin. He says, I think that's why they call their era more physical than ours, because guys, we play physical here too. There's more space, but guys play physical. We got strong, athletic guys here too. I watched some of those games. Paint was clear. Nobody was getting touched. It wasn't a lot of help defense, but you did get a lot of flagrant fouls that didn't result in fines and getting kicked out of the game. So it just seemed like it was tougher. Kevin didn't see the fights, did he? Kevin didn't see the Pistons, like you say. Kevin didn't see the rivalry games between even regular teams.
Lakers sucked at games. They used to kill each other.
Oh, my God.
I mean, they just used to beat on each other.
Michael Jordan punched Steve Kerr, and he was on the same team.
And that was a practice.
Yes. And they were just like, well, we're just getting ready for the Pistons. That's all.
Look, I for one am okay with that not being the game today. But I don't know exactly what he means by that, because the very thing that he is saying makes it seem tougher is tough. If you're going to go to the basket and you know that Rick Mahorn, who's basically a highway overpass, is just going to hit you, you're just not going to the basket. It's one thing to say, could you play in different eras? Could guys adjust? It's another thing to say, was the basketball better then or now? But if you want to say which one's tougher, the one where Bill Laimbeer was allowed to exist in the league, because if Bill Laimbeer couldn't hit you, there's nothing else in the NBA he could actually do.
Let me just ask Kevin, did you watch more than just like the Dream Team Olympic Games? Because nothing you're saying is reality. I mean, oh, dear God. So, yeah,
I mean, it just works against his actual point.
I want to know what his sample size was of what games that he watched. I'm talking regular season games, and it was bonkers compared to what you see today. So I have a lot of respect for Kevin Durant. I know he's a very cranial guy. He's a very smart guy, and he'll sit there. I just wonder if he's watched enough. He says, I go back and watch a lot of that 90s film, 80s stuff. Are you watching the right stuff? Who are you watching?
I'm sure he is. I mean, because they have.
I don't feel like it.
That's what I do. I mean, they have entire games on YouTube. You just go back and go, oh, I would want to watch, a Detroit Bad Boys game. You just go back and watch that one, and you'll watch the whole game. It's not even clips. It's the entire game.
Yeah, I just don't think he saw the same games we did, Ralph. I don't think he's.
Just go watch the finals for that 20-year period from 80 to 2000. Just go watch them. There's some crazy basketball. Yeah,
I would encourage Kevin Durant. Listen, I'm never going to call into question his work ethic. I'm not going to call into question his basketball IQ. But also watching the video, if you're not seeing what we saw for 20 years, yeah.
Even when Shaq was in the league, you remember how they used to beat up Shaq?
Yeah,
and I mean, it was ridiculous.
But nobody felt sorry for him, so they didn't get called hardly ever.
But he actually changed the game a little bit because of how they used to just attack him.
Well, then when it was the obvious hack-a-Shaq stuff.
Yeah, but Shaq said, Shaq has this story about the time he called up David Stern and he was cussing out David Stern. This should have been a foul. That should have been a foul. And David Stern basically just said, Shaq, if we called every foul that everybody had on you, entire teams would foul out. Like we have to put something on TV. And Shaq was that makes sense.
That's bullcrap. I wouldn't have backed down on that if I was Shaq. I'd be like, foul's a foul. Call these damn things, and then maybe they won't foul me so much. That's bullcrap to say, oh, if we called every foul. No, I'd be even angrier.
I mean,
angrier.
Shaq took it as a compliment. It's just like
the league didn't know what to do with him because they'd never seen a guy so big and strong.
It's just
that can move the way he did. It was just crazy.
It's absolutely unstoppable. Yeah, especially before he started like gaining weight later in his career. Like
that, it was
Shaq. There, you can go find it. There are plays where Shaq is bringing the ball up full court, and we talked about LeBron getting a full head of steam earlier. Shaq,
you're
Shaq is greater than LeBron.
Yes, he just. I mean, it's like if a bulldozer was going 70 miles an hour, you just get out of the way.
888-368-1580. Hamilton Porter says, I was at the Malice at the Palace. Those teams had no history at all. And look what happened. And that was even modern era.
Yeah, that I was in high school when that
one was Ron Artest, right?
Yeah, that was those Pacers and those Pistons teams. Even when I was a kid, it was just basketball was still more physical then. I think, with a lot of stuff now, I like the game. I like the way that the spacing on the floor has opened up a lot more stuff that you can do. But it has made the game, I think, a lot less physical because
less physical, more sophisticated. I will give you that. But Kevin Durant looking back and saying, it just seemed like it was I get it, Kevin. You're precious about what you're doing right now, and you don't want to diminish what you're doing right now because you want to have a legacy that can compare to there. I got news for you. You can't. Every era has its own. Kevin Durant is a great in this era. Where he's going to rank, we shall see. But you can't compare this era to that era. It's just too damn
not in terms of physicality. No,
he's too soft. He would have never survived in the 80s. He's too soft.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
I think he is. Just like Gasol was too soft when he came out. I mean, he was really soft.
Like,
you got to learn how to toughen
up. And LeBron's an epic flopper. I mean, it's
Divac was the first one to start that stuff.
I think that if you had Kevin Durant and you had him play in that time period, like for the same reason that I think that if you take Isaiah Thomas and you put him to today, I think he's still great. Because he would obviously have all of the dieting and sports science and all the stuff we have that those guys didn't have. I think you would grow up being beat up and you'd figure it out.
And anemic. Blissful Hayes says the biggest difference between current NBA versus NBA 30 years ago is previous eras cared about winning and played way tougher defense. Players these days make so much more money. They don't care about winning or playing defense anymore. I don't know if that's universally true. And actually, I was actually making that same claim before, saying it was all about offense and everybody. But then it seemed like the Suns were one of the teams that stepped up with that defense and started making that more of an important part of their game. As about 3 years ago, I actually did see kind of a shift. But to say they don't care about winning, I don't know about that.
I wouldn't even argue that they don't care about defense. I think the NBA tweaked the rules to make it harder to defend guys. The hand check rule is gone. So, you can't touch anybody when you defend. And the way that these guys handle the ball today, how the hell are you supposed to defend anybody if you can't touch them? And then of course they've made zones legal. They used to have a legal defense back in the day. So teams rely more on zones than anything else. It's not that guys don't care. The rules are different.
Baker's Cocky Hen says Kevin Durant can't even handle Michael Rappaport talking bleep. You really think he can take a physical beating?
I mean, if he grew up in that era, I think he could.
CK says, put it this way, Jeffrey. Magic Sons likely put his name in the hat to be on that Bud Light can.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, good for
He's been like that his whole life, though.
Patrick says, let's hope Dodger fans tonight can bump up the numbers to 90% Dodger fans. Why you got it? Why?
It'll happen. It'll happen tonight because Kershaw's on the mound.
Probably right.
People come out for Kershaw.
Nurse Scratchit says, Shaq was obese when he came to Phoenix. He was hospitalized there because he had to lose some weight. They hospitalized him to lose weight.
I don't remember that, but he was that was the end of his career.
Yeah, I don't remember that either. But yeah, like everybody, I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of guys get to the end of their career and start adding on some pounds because they're not.
Look at Ralph.
They're not in the gym the way that they used to be early on in the career. I mean, look at Patrick Ewing at the end. Even it was, He was a puffier Patrick Ewing.
Well, man, he used to sweat that way his entire career, but later it made more sense. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, I swear to God, I only have a couple more NBA things. Maybe we can get to talk to some NFL football. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Everybody, it's Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. For years, I've been telling you about refinancing, new home loans, all the great stuff that the Lund Mortgage Team can help you with from start to finish. Now, things have gotten a little crazy, right? The rates were bouncing all over the place. Now they're officially higher than they've been in a long time. And now more than ever, I think it's important to have a mortgage professional that has been there, done that. Any Yahoo can sell you a mortgage when it's 2.75%. Those people are going away. The real professionals are the ones that are staying in business and helping their clients through this kind of tough time out there as far as mortgage rates are concerned. Those people are the Lund Mortgage Team. Matt Oliver, Lisa Lund, they've owned this team for a long time, over 2 decades in the Valley. They are the best in the business, and they will walk you through the process, whether it's refinancing now or probably more importantly, a new home loan. Let them do all the heavy lifting for you. Call today, 623-875-9940. That's 623-875-9940. or online, lundmortgage.com.
Seems like everything is going electric these days. Electric cars, electric trucks. But what you save on gas, you pay for with that electric bill. With all these things being plugged into your house, wouldn't it be nice to save up to 85% on your monthly electric bill? Well, you can do that with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Call Harmon Solar. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
One trip down Scottsdale Road, and it's obvious. Snowbird season is here. You know what else is on Scottsdale Road? The absolute best restaurant to take your out-of-town friends and family to. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse. No one does it better than Kasai, where talented Teppan chefs create the food, fire, and fun of teppanyaki. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse is dinnertainment at its best, where a delicious 7-course meal is prepared right at your table with flair. It's the perfect choice for any occasion. Choose from over 50 different items and combinations of teppanyaki. Looking for a great dining without the show? Kasai offers an awesome selection of Asian-inspired dishes and tasty sushi. Happy hour deals daily until 6 p.m. And enjoy outdoor dining on our heated patio. So whether here on a golfing trip, for spring training, or just to enjoy our Arizona sunshine, don't just take your guests to dinner. Take them to Kasai Japanese Steakhouse for dinnertainment. Visit KasaiScottsdale.com. That's KASAI Scottsdale.com. Or call 480-607-1114.
So, what's your favorite thing about sports? The excitement, the action, or the 5-meat pizza and the six-pack?
Bingo.
That's what we thought. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
David Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Very confused by Choro. Choro's been drinking and he started texting, but now I see what he's texting about. I'll read your text here in a little bit. We are going to get to that. Trust me. 888-368-1580. And of course, did I say it was Daily Blender on 1580? I said all that? I may have had a few. All right. So let's see. Kiss the Cook says, how do you, KD Wood, matched up against Malone, Wilkins, or Kemp? Well, if they never touched him, you know. I mean, Kevin Durant, I'm not calling into the question his manliness. He's like a praying mantis. His body shape is not built for that sort of contact under the basket.
I don't know about that. Because, I mean, KD is a very...
Who built like him did well in the 80s and 90s?
I mean...
Nobody.
See?
I'm trying to think. I don't remember off the top of my head what George
you were
Gervin
a squid.
Like.
You were a little itty bitty.
Right, but here's the thing. I grew up with the internet, so like I can actually watch the games.
Oh, he just boomered me with an attitude.
I mean, absolutely. Yeah, because nothing is worse than when you're trying to make a point about something, and it's like, oh, but you're too young to have seen that. It's like, I own a damn computer.
Hey, Ralph, look at the fetus fight.
I know. I'm wondering if his girlfriend's listening to this, because this is what he's gonna do.
In fact, I'd
love it if his girlfriend was an older lady.
I always, because I'm the oldest child in my family, and I always told my younger brothers, like, there's no excuse for not knowing what the greats were like. You don't own a damn computer.
Calm down, fetus. So how would Kevin Durant actually? I don't think he would do very well, but why do you think he would? He doesn't have that physical basis. I mean, he's just lanky.
I'll tell you why he wouldn't do good. He'd be exhausted by the third quarter because they'd be beating on him the whole game. That was the difference back then. The Eastern Conference was physical. The Western Conference was more scorer. And when they used to play each other in games, I mean, you would see that wear down on a lot of the Western Conference teams because they were so physical in the East.
You would. But okay, so someone with a similar-ish build to Kevin Durant and actually plays a lot like him, George Gervin, the Iceman. The ability to score the basketball without having to get to the basket because he had that insane floater. Kevin Durant can do that, but he's also shot the ball that like in a way that no guy his size does. So, oh no, they're beating me up. I can't go to the basket. I guess I'll just shoot dagger threes from the logo. I just the guy that plays the
Kevin
game
Durant
today
is the dagger three guy.
Do you watch him?
I do, but I don't know if
he was young when he was younger. He definitely.
Yeah, younger. But I mean,
he can still hit them. Don't get us wrong. But he was
once
way
you see
better.
a guy start
He's shooting
doing that,
threes at a higher percentage than he's ever
when
done.
you see a guy doing that, you know how to defend against that.
He
So
punched him right in the gut.
I haven't seen him do it a whole lot for Phoenix yet.
I think one of the shoot threes at a high level.
Do anything.
His percentages are high, but I did not see
and lost in the Suns uniform. What are we talking about?
I haven't seen a lot of threes from him so far. I mean, what you would expect.
Well, yeah, because he's playing the game that the Suns play. So it's a lot of mid-game stuff, a lot of mid-range things that he's doing.
Listen, I'm pro Kevin Durant. Don't get the wrong idea.
I'm saying, could he play in another era, in an older era, a more physical era? Yes, because he wouldn't even have to go to the basket. Is my point.
Yeah, but you weren't.
You don't think
you
they
weren't,
can defend a three? Back in the 80s.
It was different. They were physical at the 3-point line back in the 80s.
Because you didn't have the foul. You didn't get those fouls the same way.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because he's 7 feet tall.
Doesn't matter. They give him an elbow right in his gut every other time.
Okay, but eventually they did call fouls back then. Like,
they did, but not the way they
rarely.
did.
No, they called them. I mean, you didn't get fines and you didn't get ejected. Like when Larry Bird and shoot, I can't remember.
Rambis?
Was that a flagrant foul?
It might have been
Kurt
Rambis.
No, it's just like, get that guy a Band-Aid. Let's play.
They got it got into a fight. Sure, you weren't tossed. You didn't have the flagrant stuff, but they were still fouls. Like you would still foul out if you continued to foul somebody. It's not like they never called fouls. It's just that it wasn't the flagrant. We weren't like, well, did you get hit above the head and neck area?
There were a lot of things not called that are fouls today.
Right. Correct.
Trust me, way more than you think, way more than Kevin Durant thinks. Because if you look at it with the same eyes that you look at today's, you would see way more fouls. But because nobody's calling it, nobody's making faces or flopping, you don't see it as much in the 80s and 90s because nobody cared.
I go back and watch the games. They air the 90s and 80s games on NBA
I saw
TV
you break
all
down
the time.
that film of LeBron coming down. Everybody's like, there was no foul there. And you were right. They're like, he barely it touched his arm back at the top of the key.
Yeah.
And then, that's a fact. Back in the 80s and 90s,
would not
0% chance that was called.
Would not have been a foul. But I have seen enough of those games that they did call fouls. If you just elbowed a guy at the 3-point line, that is a foul. They're not going to toss you like they toss you today. That's a foul.
The fact that you're saying that
not even about tossing.
The fact that you're saying he'd have to sit back at the 3-point line shows how soft he is, because you can look at guys like Magic Johnson, who was a big dude at 6'9". I mean, he was in there going against anybody, running up and scoring. He was a man. He knew how to do it, and he got beat up. And by the time you hit game 50, your body is done.
So Gervin, I'm saying Gervin had the same build. He was getting beat up, and the guy played a Hall of Fame career. So all I'm saying is, I don't know whether or not Kevin Durant would go to the basket, but you're asking me, could he play? Yes, because he has a skill set that would allow him to play.
He would not have the same success.
He'd be an average player.
I don't know. I don't think that that's true.
He'd be an average
player. I just want to repeat this, and then we got to move on. If you had the referees from today go back and call those games, stuff that you are missing when you watch those old tapes, they would not be missing. And oh my God, it would be a massacre. Stern was saying, everybody'd foul out. Everybody would foul out if you sent these refs back, because What I'm saying is when you watch those old tapes,
Yeah.
you're not going to notice those little fouls that they noticed today. Then you look at it later. Well, if you have to hit pause and go back and look slowly, they never would have called that a foul back in that day. So trust me when I say that is the 80s and 90s way more different than Kevin Durant or you are seeming able to accept.
I can accept that it's different. I'm not saying it's not different, and I'm not saying that the fouls back then weren't vicious, painful, like egregious, like
malicious.
Like,
it was
the stuff was barely basketball at points. Like I get it. Like I have seen the thing. I'm telling you, I agree, but I'm saying that the skill set would allow him to play, and they did call fouls back then. It's not like they're not calling the same fouls. I'm not saying the foul that was in that LeBron video would have been a foul back then. But you're
making a
making
guy to get a foul.
But you were no, you didn't. You didn't have to step. No, because
Brass knuckles had to be involved.
You really didn't have to stab a guy to call a foul. But we have the reason why guys don't do that today is because what was a regular foul back then is a literal ejection today.
Could you imagine
But they were
players in the
fouls.
80s? Imagine players in the 80s calling for a review of the foul.
Yeah, doing this.
They'd do this, and the other team would break their finger off.
You'd be absolutely ludicrous. I mean, I know what you're talking about. I do. I'm saying the fouls today that are flagrant fouls were just regular fouls back then, but you still had 6 of them, and you'd still foul out. Like if you're just like, oh, this guy's shooting threes, I'm just going to elbow him.
You don't understand,
That's why
Keon.
Steve Kerr had a career. He didn't get elbowed every time he shot a 3.
They would call a foul, but it was not the same, and it's not as frequent. It's on a hair trigger now, as then they're kind of like, that's fine, they're good.
And to be fair,
it was not the same.
To be fair, you
I
can
didn't
say the
say
same
they
thing.
were.
You can say the same thing about the NFL today too. It's changed that.
Oh
much as
yeah,
well.
no, absolutely. The way they treat the
NHL.
quarterback. Oh, let's get caught up on the text line here. Hefty Lefty says LeBron James was the reason. Hold on a second. Maybe that's not right. I got to scroll. Stupid thing. LeBron James was the reason they were down 20 in the first half. Yeah, he played horribly in the first half against the Clippers, but he was the reason they about damn won that game in the second. You got to give him his credit.
That's how good he is.
And LeBron James is damn near 40.
I hate you.
Scored 37 points the night before in a game that they needed him to win. So, if his legs were a little weak going into the game against the Clippers, what are you going to do? Maybe somebody else could step up and it doesn't have to be the old man every time.
Quiet Cannon says KD is a halftime player. What does he know about physicality? Oh, he doesn't hardly ever play, is what he's saying.
Well, that's only
Baker's
been true
Cocky
recently.
Hens
That's not his whole career. So
says Durant wouldn't have a shot. They didn't have as many people cleaning up sweat off the floor back then, and he probably just hurt himself all over the place. Ankle here, ankle there. Yeah. Kiss the Cook says, "Oh, nut checks were not called, by the way." Yeah, if you no.
Well, it's also Draymond Green would be just fine back then.
Blissful
So would
Hayes
Grayson Allen.
says Keon is talking about Bill Laimbeer there. Harry Soap says Kevin Durant and Robert Parrish built the same. Robert Parrish looked like the kind of guy who, I don't know, like if you were in a friend's house and that was that dude's dad, you said nothing but yes, sir, all the time. I mean, that guy was scary.
We used to call
Scarier
him-
than Kevin Durant.
Right, wrong, or indifferent. As Laker fans, we used to call him Satan because he was just a scary looking
Oh,
dude.
yeah. I mean, I call Kevin Durant praying mantis. Robert Parrish, call sir.
Yeah, he was scary.
Yeah, but
Jesus.
but the physical build was the same. You just wouldn't mess with him.
But Kareem would go at him though.
He
Gotta
was,
give
I think
Kareem-
Parrish was more solid. I think he was more solid.
No, I mean, I'm
More
looking at a
big
picture right
boned.
now. It's
more big boned.
his shoulders are wider.
He's a
but,
big
I mean,
dude.
They got lanky arms, the two of them.
Yeah.
Pringle says, thankfully, Ralph is on the show to counter all the BS that Keon is spewing. Keon's not spewing BS, and I'm
What
here
BS
too.
did I spew? Just that they called fouls back then. They did. Just the
Nobody's-
fouls were different.
Ralph, did you ever say they don't call fouls? They don't call
No.
the same fouls,
It's
and they
just a-
were
it's-
more permissive back then.
It's a
and
different game.
and
The game is hard to watch.
And
today.
I agreed with you.
Yeah, no,
It's
the
not
game
hard to watch.
It is hard
Game
to
is
watch.
all offense now.
It's
Yeah.
hard to
And-
watch because if you watch basketball in the 80s and 90s, I mean, it was just so much better. It was so much more physical. Nowadays, you just breeze by somebody and it's a foul.
Not to make this a baseball conversation, but that's one of the reasons why I'm a little worried about like all these rule changes in baseball,
Agreed.
because one of the things we're looking at in basketball, why teams score 150 points every night, is the rule changes. It's not that the guys themselves don't want to play.
That's why we got to go by eras. Got to go by eras.
Yeah.
CK says Danny Manning, John Sally, they did well with a similar build to KD. That's interesting. I think Danny Manning might have been softer than Kevin Durant. John Sally, I don't know. What do you think?
Sally
had a couple years there that were pretty good.
Sally, like upper body is kind of KD, but I don't know. Sally like was a stocky kind of guy. Like
CK came back with Dr. J.
Yes.
Dr. J, I think Dr. J had more steel to him. He had more of a build.
He was a man, though.
But and he was also elusive as hell. He would go to the basket, and you just couldn't touch him.
Yeah, but I think he had thicker bones, I think. Yeah. All right, listen, we'll get caught up on the text line when we come back, and a whole lot more Daily Blender after this. It's 1580, The Fanatic.
From the Augusta National Golf Club, Westwood One Sports presents this special report on the Masters. I'm Ted Emmerich. Storms were holding off all afternoon until they finally hit just after 4 Eastern. An hour later, Augusta National permanently suspended play in the second round, which will resume tomorrow morning at 8 Eastern. Brooks Koepka leads at 12 under. Colin Morikawa made it to the clubhouse at 6 under, the two-time major winner within striking distance.
Haven't put it all together quite yet, but pretty thrilled with the 6 under, back-to-back 69s. I just found out that I've only made 2 bogeys, so that's a good thing, obviously, out here at Augusta, and just kind of managing my game piece by piece, putting it in the right spots, and I just got to convert a few of those extra birdies, and, we'd be closer to 10. But it is what it is, and it's going to take, obviously, 2 great rounds, but, I'm looking forward to it.
Now, there are just 2 players between Morikawa and the lead. Jon Rahm at 9 under, Sam Bennett at 8 under. You're listening to coverage of the 2023 Masters on Westwood One.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Time to get this show started, Kansas City.
The countdown is on for the 2023 NFL Draft, and greatness is on the clock. 7 rounds, 3 days, live from Kansas City.
There is the reaction. What a dream.
Watch live April 27th to 29th with NFL Network draft coverage presented by Verizon and on ABC, ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and streaming on NFL Plus. It all starts April 27th at 8 p.m. Eastern. Visit NFL.com/draft for more information.
Timber at Augusta National. 3 pine trees uprooted by the wind at 17T. Thankfully, no patrons were injured. Workers used chainsaws to help clear the trees. Second round not quite complete because of the bad weather. Let's check the leaderboard. Sponsored by Grainger. With supplies and solutions for every industry, Grainger is ready to help. Click Grainger.com. Brooks Koepka at 12 under par. Jon Rahm 3 back at 9 under. He made the turn at 2 under today before play was stopped. So he'll go from playing in the sweltering 80-degree temperatures this afternoon to playing in the rain tomorrow morning with temps 30 degrees cooler. U.S. amateur champion Sam Bennett looks like he belongs. 8 under after back-to-back 468s. Bennett is 4 back. Rory McIlroy won't have to deal with the rain this weekend. 5 over 77 plus 5 overall to miss the cut. From Augusta, I'm Ted Emmerich, Westwood One Sports.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K24EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM. It's time for the third hour.
All right, people, settle down because it's time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender, and your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside not Randy White. He decided to keep on drinking, and we'll see him Monday. We got Ralph from Harmon Solar filling in. We got Keon Rose in the control room. yelling at everybody. And you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580. We broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. We got to wrap this conversation up. Things become very heated.
Yeah.
And Ralph and I, being the old heads, we're saying that Kevin Durant probably would not have done well in the 80s and 90s era. Keon Rose stepping up and saying, nay, you are wrong. And of course, Keon Rose seeing the 80s and 90s through the same lens as Kevin Durant. But yeah, I just got to tell you, it's like we were there, man.
Yep.
It's not like I watched some highlights on YouTube and I was like, yep, nope, got it. Like I've watched entire games. It's not,
So you've seen 5, 10?
Yeah,
games?
I bet we've seen more.
A lot of them. I don't know how many. I haven't kept count. It's just they play them on NBA TV. I like to watch them.
We don't have to keep having the same argument. We know now that there is a disagreement between us. And of course, we're not going to be able to convince him. Definitely not going to be able to convince us.
We should just, let's just, he's wrong and move on.
Yeah, I get 888-368-15. He did not appreciate it.
No, he didn't like that at all.
I don't care. It's, if you say the conversation's over, it's over.
No, I'm not saying it's over. I just don't want to have the same argument and chase our tails.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, we agree to disagree. Move on.
But here is a good question. Who would have been worse back then? Kevin Durant or LeBron James? On that, I'm going to say Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is a spooky good shooter, and he's a sniper. The man is amazing. Don't ever think I'm taking anything away from him. But in that era, in that atmosphere, LeBron James, I don't know.
He's James worthy.
I still think KD do worse. LeBron James would adapt to it because LeBron James starts finishing his career. Yeah, he's old man LeBron now, but he played some physical ass basketball. Yeah. He would go through and put his body into it more than Kevin Durant ever would. I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just saying LeBron James was built and had ability that is more online with what you'd see in the 80s and 90s than Kevin Durant.
I mean, the physicality. I mean, I remember reading the scouting report for Kevin Durant when he came out of Texas to go to the NBA. And the scouting report was basically like he's got a narrower frame. So like Kevin Durant, I've seen him work out with LeBron. He doesn't lift quite what LeBron lifts, but he's close. It's just he's not going to put on that muscle that LeBron can because LeBron's frame can carry it and Kevin's can't.
And that's the exact case that Ralph and I have been making for the last 20 minutes about KD versus some other basketball players. So,
but I'm saying there are players built like him that could do it. So it's
LeBron, if he went there and played like he does now, he'd be murdered. And then he'd have to get up and go, okay, I got to do something different. Would he be at the same level as a Michael Jordan or a Scottie Pippen? Even no, he would not. But I think that he would be able to adapt better. 888-368-1580. Blissful Hayes says Reggie Miller was an exceptional shooter who excelled playing thin. Right, but he wasn't the same. He wasn't the same as Kevin Durant. There are different kinds of players there. Now, we did concede that he would do fine as a 3-point shooter, but he wouldn't be as epic as he is. Because they were still fouling people out there at the 3-point line. Reggie Miller got into some epic scrapes, and he got abused out there, and
mind about it too.
Sure damn did. And Kevin Durant would too. So I'm not saying Kevin Durant would be, he'd be awful. He'd be the worst. I'm saying he wouldn't do as well. That's all we're saying. Las Toby says he's no Andre Iguodala. That's for sure. Quiet Cannon says, I 100% agree with you, Jeffrey and Ralph. KD is too soft to play inside. He's a great outside shooter, and that's his role. Hope the trade works out for the Phoenix Suns. Yeah, well, so do I. And listen, as much as we're saying about the 80s and 90s, Kevin Durant, he does make his way to that basket on the inside pretty nicely now because he can. But as far as everything else, no. I think Kevin Durant is better than any player on the Lakers right now, save maybe LeBron James.
Oh, come on.
Better than Anthony Davis.
No.
I think so.
No.
I think so too.
No, not at this stage in his career. I don't think.
Look at
I-
Keon. He's like, somebody agrees with me.
What do you mean? Well, no, I don't care about that. No, I
Yeah,
just
you do.
No,
You need my
I
approval.
really
You need my
don't.
love and approval.
I don't. I need you to approve of me so that you don't fire me, but I don't need your love. That you can keep that. Look, I just think Anthony Davis, when you say not at this stage in his career, it's like Anthony Davis hasn't played a full NBA season like but once. Year 2 in his whole career.
I'll let Anthony Davis go. I'll still say LeBron's at his age right now is still better than Durant. On any given night, that guy can come out and ball and put up 45.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it that he can't do it every night because of his age, and he can't just do that. His body won't let him. But when he wants to come out and do it, you said it yourself.
Yeah,
when he wants to come out and be that guy, he's better than anybody.
I just feel like Durant can do it too. He's not going to do it the way LeBron does it, but
yeah, LeBron can will it. LeBron can assert his physical dominance and will on you if he wants to. It's kind of like me. Give me a second. I know. Don't just let me explain.
LeBron, he's kind of like me.
No.
You look a lot like him. Go ahead.
No. Listen, I even at the age of 52, I am spooky fast for about 10 seconds, and then I'm going to lay down and have a heart attack. LeBron can still do those things, but then afterwards he is just toast, done. He has to bear the weight of that fatigue a lot more than he used to. But he still has that ability. That's why I watched him the other day when he was playing the Clippers. I've not watched a lot of Laker basketball. Wonder why. First off, they don't put it in prime time because it sucks. But second, I don't like them. So when I saw LeBron playing, I had to give respect. I was like, oh, damn. Oh, my God. Look at that guy. So just saying, LeBron James, I don't even know if I could say that Kevin Durant is better than him right now.
I mean, if you have one game you have to win and you could pick one of those guys, who you taking? One game.
Depends on the opponent.
I'm taking LeBron. I don't care who my opponent is. I'm taking LeBron.
No. That matters. That matters. If they're tough under the basket, I want Kevin Durant.
I mean, I'm taking Durant either way.
Well, that's just him dying on that hill, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's because I like the shooting of Durant. I like the range. It's because when they went head to head in that finals, Warriors Cavs, and it was LeBron and Durant going back and forth in that fourth quarter, LeBron James was playing great defense on KD, and KD just kept putting 3-pointers right in his eye. That is what I'm saying about Durant. I like the way his game works on multiple levels.
Okay, let me change it.
Plus the handles of a guy being 6'11".
I mean, how old was he back then? So I'm saying, how about a 25, 26-year-old LeBron against a 25, 26-year-old KD? Who you take?
LeBron.
Okay.
26-year-old LeBron was a freight train, dude. When LeBron was playing in Miami with the Heat and they went up against the Celtics and it was that like they were down and they needed to tie the series or it was all over. I've never watched a basketball game before that felt like a horror movie. Like it just, the whole thing just felt ominous. The Celtics tried everything. They threw everybody at him. They doubled him. LeBron got 63. Yeah. Like it was just prime LeBron. Best player I've ever seen outside of Jordan.
Outside of Kobe, maybe too.
It's tough.
Here come the eras again.
When I say
prime Kobe, come on.
Prime Kobe was. That's why I'm saying it's tough.
Unbelievable.
It's tough. It's tough. But prime
Nurse
LeBron was.
Nurse Scratchit says, "I'm taking Durant." Well, make sure you have him back for game time. Lost Toby says, Jeffrey's wife says he's being generous with that 10 seconds. Yeah, listen. Hey, Lost Toby, at least somebody will actually let me have some time. Big George says certain players in the NBA are crybabies. Well, yes, that is true. He says there's no arguing with Keon, by the way, sometimes. When he's got his mind set one way, there's no changing it. He's right. We're all wrong. No, listen, I got respect for Keon on that. He believes that he is right. And of course, he's going to let you know about it. I got no problem with that. Yeah, I don't think Keon's a know-it-all.
Stand up for what you believe in.
Yeah, we remember that guy. 888-368-1580. Lost Toby. Oh, geez. All right, everybody brace yourself. Keon, go lock the door. Go lock the door. Lost Toby says, Kobe isn't even top 5.
Okay, you're an idiot. Whoever would make that statement is just a moron.
Wow.
You're a moron. I'm going to say it.
Well, he's a top. He's number one rapist. I mean, we're going to be honest.
Look, I have Kobe in my top 5, but I don't think that that's the most insane thing, just because of depends on how you feel about, Kareem. If it depends on how you feel about Tim Duncan. Depends on how you feel about a lot of people. And
Jordan's number 1, Kobe's number 2. That's my list. And I've seen a lot of great players in the last 30 years.
Incorrect.
Jordan's number 1. There's no doubt in my mind.
Incorrect. Let me help you. I'm going to help you. You're going to like my help.
Okay.
Jordan is number 1. Kobe is number 1. LeBron is number 1. Slice that up on eras. You can't compare
I agree.
Each one of these guys, because every time we got a new guy like that, the rules got changed, the dynamics changed, the play changed. And that's another. I mean, we can talk about time travel, taking Kevin Durant back there, seeing how he does. That's one thing. But you can't compare the stats in the game of Jordan, Kobe, or LeBron, or anybody else. It's just eras. And I don't know if I should like that, because that means the games are evolving. Are they getting better? It's the same thing with the NFL, NBA, baseball, whatever. I mean, everybody was like, "Oh, Babe Ruth." I'm like, "Whoa!" Until everybody was allowed to play, I don't care what anybody's stats were. So there's eras. There's eras. There's eras. So Jordan's number 1, Kobe's number 1, LeBron is number 1.
I just don't think there was anybody that had a better work ethic than Kobe or Jordan. I think those two guys, the work ethic was off the charts.
You know what? LeBron's work ethic on working on him and being ready. And look at him at that age to play at the level he's playing. His work ethic is there as well. I mean, his mouth ethic, it does not show the same thing. But I think you can't say that LeBron's work ethic is off.
Oh, this is why I say this. I think back to the Dream Team when they were on the same team. And if you think about when they were wherever that was they played, I think it was Beijing, right?
Remember how much younger LeBron was.
Right. And Kobe was there. And Kobe was not about going out at night, screwing around with the rest of the guys. He was at practice. He was up at 5 a.m, hitting the gym, and he was in practice. And this is just for a USA game. I mean, he was serious. The guy worked harder than anybody. I mean, Jordan was like that too, but all the rest of the guys were about screwing around until they said, "Oh crap, this guy's serious. We better start going to the gym with him. We better start going out with him all the time." That was Kobe. Kobe was just a different guy.
Well, I'm sure LeBron, wanting to have that same legacy, saw that, learned from it, and does.
I hope so. Yeah, I'm sure he did. So
Silver Pop says Robert Parrish was not scary. He was ugly. There's a difference.
He was ugly.
Yeah, it's not lying.
Sometimes that they're one and the same. Leave Robert Parrish alone.
Baker's Cocky Hens says, remember when Kevin Durant couldn't bench 185 pounds a single time at the NBA Combine? Well, that was him even younger.
He was like 17. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry that he's 17 years old. He couldn't bench 185 pounds.
That doesn't mean anything.
Well, I was 16 and I could bench 300. So Colt Van Dam says, I liked Allen Iverson's work ethic best. Practice. It's just, I can't remember. How's that go? The whole practice thing? It's just practice.
Practice. Talking about practice?
Not a game. Not a game. Talk about practice.
Nurse Scratchit says, Jordan is number 1. All caps.
Yeah, we all agree on that. That's
no. Lost Toby says, if you really think Kobe can't be out of the top 5 of all time, you're a bigger idiot than me. That's a moronic statement. Who said that? Who's he talking to?
It must be talking to Ralph, because Ralph is like, if you don't have Kobe in your top 5,
yeah, because he's a moron for saying that. So.
Twitty, it says, Jeffrey, I figured you tagged Big Ben as the number 1 rapist. Oh, I was doing NBA. Sorry. Randy's Chuckle says, I think Chris from The Odd Couple has it right. The hell is he talking about? Was that a podcast?
Chris? No, it's a FS1 show. It's Chris Broussard. Over there.
Anyway, these super athletes would succeed in any era. They would adjust. Yes, KD would be more of a shooter. Elbow jumper would be his stud. Kobe maybe 9th. Wait, what?
What?
Okay, Randy's Chuckle. Come on, man. Let's work with your opinion. Don't be giving me somebody else's opinion. And B, 9th. I feel like we should blow the whistle on him, but I guess I can't.
I'll blow it.
It'd be interesting to see if guys like Durant in this era came up in the 70s and 80s. What would have been different, because there wasn't the youth basketball there is today. It was a totally different game.
That's the way I always do it when I compare the eras too, is to say, if you grew up then, could you do it? And I think he could. In the same way that I always say, okay, Reggie Miller is not going to be considered the greatest 3-point shooter of all time. But if Reggie Miller grew up today, the way we shoot now, the way kids practice shooting now,
his numbers have been higher.
Reggie Miller. Would anybody have passed him? I have no idea. I don't think so.
Probably one of the greatest 3-point shooters, in the 90s, 2000s?
He would have hated. There would have been a big rivalry between him and Steph Curry.
Even Ray Allen didn't play completely in an era where they were shooting threes the way we shoot threes now.
I mean, when you think threes in the 80s, who do you think of?
In the 80s?
In the 80s.
A little bit Reggie Miller, but I remember Thunder Dan. I remember Danny Ainge.
Larry Bird.
There wasn't a lot. That was the thing. A 3-point shooter who was really spectacular was an anomaly back then.
Because it was typically, unless you could really, really shoot it, it was a bad shot.
Yep.
Now we've got all the analytics, and the analytics are like, listen, this shot is worth 1.5 times more than the other shot. We're shooting this one.
Paul Westphal, if you brick a three, okay. If you did 2 in a row, you're benched. You're not even allowed to touch the ball again for another quarter. And he's going to sit there and occasionally glare at you on the bench. And back then he was right.
Yeah, back then, because that was the game. People weren't shooting them like that. Now coaches are like, look, if you're a shooter, okay, and I put you on this floor to shoot, and I see you pass up an open three, that might get you on the bench.
888-368-1580. You know what? This is way too much NBA for one show. I think
we have gone way into the weeds. It's
I
mean, I've enjoyed it, but
a couple of notes that we'll make. Michael Jordan, speaking to him, his $15 million mansion there, it was burglarized. An 18-year-old broke it. It's not the one he lives in. How's that feel?
Yeah, just his other mansion. Yeah,
he hasn't lived there since 2012. But 9 bedrooms, 19 bathrooms. Why would you have twice as many bathrooms as you do bedrooms? I mean, seriously, why would you design a house like that?
Well, Michael Jordan drinks a lot, you know.
Oh, I was gonna say somebody's got the squirts. Maybe somebody.
Sometimes between one room and another room, you just got to make a pit stop.
Indoor basketball gym, infinity pool, tennis court, cigar room, of course. But here's the thing about this place. What really struck me was it's 56,000 square feet. 56,000. You could put a lot of my houses in that. That is amazing. Although he's lost money on it. It was $29 million initially when they put it on the market. Now he's down to like 14 and a half almost. So anyway, so they caught the kid, just some kid, probably didn't even realize where he was breaking in. And the other quick note, Angel Reese, she has come to her senses and she says, I'm the team captain. I'll do what's best for the team. I will go. And she seems like she's getting over her anger, her flash anger from everything from before. So hopefully she doesn't use this as an excuse to start some stuff. You know,
not like somebody pulled her aside and said, "Okay, time to change your tune."
Yeah,
guarantee it that happened.
Well, in this situation, it needed to because I get it at first, but now when you understand, it's like your mom. You know, that's like your grandma who is like, oh, I just wish you could all win. And you're like, oh, grandma. But she got all kind of pissed off about this. And I get it. The optics were bad. But if you take a second and you look at where it's coming from, it's just grandma. It's just grandma. It's not anything threatening or horrible or evil. So hopefully she's figured that out. But I would not put it past her because she is a firecracker. She's going to go out that there might be some words. I'm just saying, everybody's going to be tuning in to that handshake.
It's. I mean, with Angel Reese, there's no filter there. She just says what she thinks, and I guarantee you, her coach got to her and just said, hey, just think about this for a second.
Unfortunately, Dr. Biden is in Australia today. So you're just going to meet Joe Biden. You maybe want to try to keep a little bit of personal space between you and him. I'm just saying. Because, he likes the little touchy-feely.
You have to smell people.
If he sniffs your hair, try not to get upset.
Don't punch him.
Yes, there's Secret Service and they will shoot you. Anyway, let's take a break. We'll come back and by God, I'd like to do some football. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. The best way to start betting smarter is to sign up for a free VSiN subscription at vsin.com/subscribe. That's vsin.com/subscribe.
The Major League Baseball season just over a week old. Looking at some future bets for division winners in the American League. The Yankees, the favorites to win the AL East in a very competitive division. They are plus 145. The Tampa Bay Rays plus 180. The Toronto Blue Jays at plus 260. The Cleveland Guardians are the favorites to win the AL Central. Cleveland at plus 130. Minnesota plus 160. The Chicago White Sox plus 320. The Houston Astros, the defending World Series champs, minus 160 to capture the AL West. The Seattle Mariners are plus 450. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
From the Augusta National Golf Club, Westwood One Sports presents this special report on the Masters. I'm Ted Emmerich. Brooks Koepka was long gone before play was suspended for good late this afternoon because of inclement weather. Koepka cruising to 12 under par, a 5 under 67 today.
Didn't really do too much wrong. Maybe the speed kind of got me on a few putts. Wasn't hitting them hard enough there towards the end, but striking the ball really well, leaving it in good spots. And it's what you got to do. You got to make birdies in these par fives, take advantage of them, and did a good job of that, playing in 500.
Yeah, 3 birdies and an eagle at 8. No bogeys on the card today for Koepka, who this time last year says he tried to punch out the window of his SUV after missing the cut. And this year he's got a 3-shot lead. You're listening to coverage of the 2023 Masters on Westwood One.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel vPro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
SpringFest is here at Lowe's. Don't miss out on the best deals of the season. Refresh your yard with 5 bags of premium mulch for just $10. And refresh your home with savings on paint and stain. Right now, buy one, get one 50% off on 1-gallon cans and 5-gallon pails of HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Paint, Stainmaster Paint, and Cabot Exterior Stains. Shop SpringFest today. Valid through 4/12. Mulch offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See store at Lowe's.com for details.
Storms moving through. The rain won't let up tomorrow. Hopefully no lightning. It'll just feel like an open championship with temperatures in the low 50s here at Augusta National. Let's check the leaderboard. Sponsored by Dell. For your small business needs, call a Dell Technologies advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. Brooks Koepka on top at 12 under par. He's chasing his 5th major title. Jon Rahm looking for his 2nd. He'll layer up and head out tomorrow morning at 8 Eastern to finish his 2nd round. Rahm was rolling too. Birdies at 8 and 9 before the air horns screeched. Texas A&M 50-year senior Sam Bennett 8 under and through 36 holes. So a year after winning the U.S. Amateur, he is a factor here going into the weekend. Colin Morikawa and Victor Hovland 6 under par. Hovland has 8 holes to go in the 2nd round. Tiger Woods is through 11. Woods 2 over, can't give away any more shots if he'll make the cut. He's trying to make the cut at the Masters for a record-tying 23rd consecutive Masters. From Augusta, I'm Ted Emmerich, Westwood One Sports.
If you're not spending every waking moment checking us out online, oh,
You better have a good excuse.
yeah. We've loaded up our website with the stories, pics, video, podcast, commentary, and more. The kind of stuff you love.
Hey, it takes a lot of time to post all this junk.
And you'll love every bit of it. Very well.
Or at least most of it.
It appears that the website has become alive.
Get it now.
It's on the internet.
1580thefanatic.com.
Dave Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Before we move any further, I do want to give a little tip of the hat. I don't know if it's man of the day, because I'll be honest, I don't know if this guy's still alive, and really it's more of a historical thing. I just want to give a tip of the hat to the original troll. Now you would think it was be Donnie, but it's not. This guy was a troll back in 1973. Now I'm sure there are people who've done trolling even before that, and in fact, that might be an interesting research subject to find out the original troll. But let me just tell you what happened 50 years ago this week. Cell phones and barcodes were both created. This week, 50 years ago. April 3rd, 1973, though, was the day the first cell phone call was made. And this is what I'm getting at. Engineer from Motorola by the name of Martin Cooper, he called the head of AT&T Bell Labs basically just to dunk on him for being the first person to make cell phones actually work. He's like, hey, guess what, man? Guess where I'm calling you? Cell phone, you suck. So that's Martin awesome. Cooper, we salute you. And thank you for starting, well, whatever happened on Twitter. 888-368-1580.
You can fire your entire R&D department now.
Yeah. This. And it was on the original, like a slightly bigger version of the Zach Morris phone. You know what I mean? Those big, like, it looks like you're in a foxhole trying to call it an airstrike thing, that big giant thing. Anyway. All right. So let's talk a little bit of football here, shall we? One of the things that is interesting, and I've been, I don't feel like I need to tell you who's visiting who all the time. So-and-so visiting who. It was funny to hear that the Commanders had a hooker, that Hendon Hooker had come by. But then you start hearing stuff, and you start to see patterns. And one of the things that is starting to look like is Hendon Hooker might be crawling on up that ladder, and he might end up being the third quarterback picked over Anthony Richardson. So, he's getting a lot of interest. He's working out for or visiting teams and stuff. But I don't know, man. I still like Anthony Richardson. I would rather roll the dice on that guy. But Hooker does make a case.
I like him. I think he's good, but I think what you're seeing is the GM's playing games. I think they're trying to make you think that they're interested somewhere else. So that
classic misdirection.
Right. I mean, that's what they're going to do. This next couple of weeks, all you're going to see is all the misdirection. But I do like the guy. I like him in the second round. I don't like him in the first round, but I think he could be a decent quarterback at the next level.
I would like him in the first round if he played anywhere other than Tennessee.
Right.
Tennessee's offense is so much more college than most other offenses that it's impossible to evaluate the guy. I mean, he threw 50 plus touchdowns this year. It's like, what do I even make of your entire offense when you're so spread out? Almost none of the stuff you did in college is going to really apply to the NFL. Right. But he's got the physical tools. He's got the arm, mobility, he very, very mobile guy. I think the other reason why Richardson's also better is because he's younger.
Hooker is 25.
Yeah,
and you're like, well, that sounds young, but football years.
It's not young.
All right, so let me just kind of go through something here. So 1 and 2 are going 1 and 2. I mean, whether you flip them, whether you don't, I don't want to get into this Stroud Young conversation. 1 and 2, right? That's assumed. 1 and 2.
Probably.
Cardinals have the number 3 pick. Colts have number 4. Colts need a quarterback, but who is going to now give up so much for Hendon Hooker or give up so much for Anthony Richardson? If anybody is trading into that number 3 spot, that's probably not for a quarterback, is it? Is it?
Yeah. I mean, you usually trade up for a QB.
But I mean, who's going to do that for Anthony Richardson or Hendon Hooker?
Well, I don't know I'm with Ralph. I think that he's a second rounder, Hendon Hooker. So I just don't think anybody's trading up.
Or even Levis.
But Levis and Richardson, those are two guys that need some work and need some polish. But we're talking about elite athletes. I mean, the Levis's arm is stupid. Like the throws that he made at Kentucky. I mean, sometimes he'd miss the layups, which is just frustrating when you go back and watch him.
Right.
But then he'd be on the run. It'd be a tight window right between the boundary, and the DB's got the receiver sandwiched in there. And then, defender will grab his leg and he'll just arm it in there. I mean, I don't know how you pass that up as a general manager, but there's definitely
he's overthinking.
There's definitely reasons to look at Levis, reasons to look at Richardson and say, these guys are going to need some work. But if I can develop these guys, that's a franchise guy.
Now, I don't agree with this, but I have heard, and I really don't agree with this, that Seattle is talking about trading up with the Cardinals to get Ant Richardson. That's what I've heard. I don't believe it. I think it's misdirection.
I think it is too, but it would make a lot of sense.
It does make sense based on what they do. They can trade up, give the Cardinals back to a 5 pick. They could even take that 5 pick and get more picks if they wanted to. It makes a lot of sense. I've heard a lot of rumor about it up in Seattle, but we'll have to see.
Plus, you let Geno open the championship window, and then if you develop Richardson properly, by the time Geno is breaking down, then you've got his heir apparent who's bigger, stronger, and more athletic than him. And we're talking about a guy that
swear to God, Ralph, if you take Anthony Richardson away from me.
Well, he's a really good fit in Seattle's offense. I think he's a better fit in Seattle's offense than he would be in Indianapolis' offense. I think Will Levis is a good fit for the Colts. I really do. I think that's the guy you're going to take, but I think Seattle might force your hand.
We're tanking again. We're tanking.
Well, if you can wait till next year, then yeah, I wish Seattle would tank till for next year, but they're not going to. So
I want to apologize. I missed some texts earlier. Let me just rattle through them real fast. Cardinal Art says Kevin Durant's game is similar to T Mac game, just better jump shot outside of him. Tashin Prince minus defensive skills. Tayshaun Prince. Yeah. Hookem Hottie says, I was driving, but the other argument about KD, that wasn't part of the text. I said it. She agrees with you, Keon. She says she's watched a lot of older game reruns. Yeah, see, these young people, Ralph.
Yeah,
these young people. Kiss the Cook says James and Durant both played against Kobe when he was in his prime. Baker's Cocky Him says Kobe was not from that era. Baker's Cocky Him says Reggie Miller is the best NBA player without a title, in my opinion. That dude was almost equal to Jordan. No, I grew up watching both. Sorry, I couldn't resist. That just put in the no.
Reggie Miller wasn't equal to Jordan, but Reggie Miller got to 2 Eastern Conference finals and was like a game away from
Ferengi without makeup was amazing. But trust me, he was not equal to Jordan.
Not even in the same class.
Blissel Hayes says, do we need to start a GoFundMe account for Michael Jordan after that burglary? Nah, he okay. He okay. The Lock says, Biden sucks. I wouldn't go either. Really not what we're doing here, but okay. Big George says, that cell phone guy is still alive, Jeffrey, and he still makes prank calls. Now he's the man of the day. Now he is. Mr. Pringle says the Bears traded up for Mitch Trubisky. If what team is dumb enough to trade up for an average quarterback? Yeah, I think the Bears might be the answer. Well, the Bears just traded back off the number 1 pick. So it's still the Bears, though.
That'd be dumb. That'd be really stupid.
Yeah, but I'm going to give their new general manager and new front office a shot here before I go, oh, yeah, no, this old Bears stuff. I mean, I want to see what the new guys do.
But Pringle, he does make a good case. It's the Bears. All right, so I'm going to go back to something Choro texted in because it's relevant to the next thing that I am going to talk about. He says, hey, how about that news in the Cardinals? I guess there's been some pieces out there about the bad ownership of the Bidwells finally getting some traction on this bad Cardinals ownership. Been saying that for years. Well, I've seen, the same thing you guys have had, but what really has struck my eyeballs more than even that, and there's no new information. There's just, just suppose that, they got investigated the same way as Dan Snyder, yada, yada, yada. But what was really interesting is first thing I saw, Kyler Murray posted out some workout videos. He's been 13 weeks after his ACL surgery, and he did like a couple squats. And it's like, why is he putting this out there? Why all of a sudden is he posting this? And then I saw that Steve Keim has been talking. Yeah, that guy. I thought he had just ridden off into the drunken sunset, and that was going to be the end of that. But no, he, I guess, was on a podcast, and he had a lot to say about a lot of different people. Kyler Murray being one of them. Now, he wasn't necessarily mean about it, but let me just preface this by saying, maybe it's a spoiler here, but everything Steve Keim said and every criticism that he has put out on this podcast is his fault. But he's talking about it as if he's an outsider. So the first thing was he's talking about Kyler Murray's work ethic and just about him. And this was the funniest part. He says, Kyler Murray still needs to grow. for the last time. He's done growing. Anyway,
that ship
but
has sailed.
He says he still needs to grow. Keim says he's not a bad guy. He's a good kid, has a good smile. What?
Yeah, that's just what I want in my franchise quarterback.
Great for a cheerleader.
All right. Has a nice way about him. I think it's like anything. Guys have to continue to learn what is going to be take to be great. Does he know what Tom Brady and Peyton Manning know that it takes to be great? No. Does he work? He does work. I do think it's that side of the game. The film study, the attention to detail part, he can continue to improve on, and I think he will. Kyler's a proud guy. He doesn't want to lose, doesn't want to let people down, but he just says, that part is like he needs to more attention to detail, and he needs to try to improve. This is all stuff that was evident in the way they had written that contract, saying, hey, you need to do your. So Keim is not saying anything new, but something almost makes me wonder. Bidwell said, do a podcast, say all that stuff that we want to say, but we can't say. I'm serious. I actually wonder about that.
I don't know. It really just seems like Keim is like, oh, the weight is off my shoulders. I no longer have to make decisions that matter. I'm just gonna
give me a copy of next year's tax return for Steve Keim, and I bet he still has Cardinal money coming in. I would almost guarantee that
he will, because he had one more year on the deal and they fired him. So
yeah, but you know what? Listen, him and Bidwell are super tight. So trust me, I don't think that Keim went on this podcast and chose his words carelessly. He chose his words carefully, and I think Bidwell and him talked.
I mean, he wasn't.
I honestly feel that way.
He wasn't mean about it, and he's not saying anything we don't already know.
No,
I mean,
you're right, but it's the words. There's not a wasted word in that whole thought process by Keim, and it sounds that is not Keim just saying that. That's the team saying that.
Probably.
All right. So it's funny after he goes on and he says all this stuff. And all of a sudden you see Kyler going, I am working, squat.
Well, no, I don't think that that's necessarily what Kyler's doing, because no one ever questioned whether or not Kyler got in the gym. Like, it was the same thing that
I know, but Kyler's immature. So.
We had back in the day with Robert Griffin, where people were like, yeah, Robert needs to watch more film. And then you just see Robert working out, not relentlessly. Like, dude, we know you hit the gym. That's not the thing we're questioning. Like, do you watch film? So like, I don't think Kyler thinks that this actually proves anything. I think he's just like, look, guys, my rehab. It's a social media thing.
Squat. Shut up, Keim. So, all right, enough about the Kyler Murray thing. Here's another thing he said. You got to think he's heading in the right direction. I just think he kept getting better. Sometimes the inconsistency with him. His height hurts him. Now, this is the part where this is your fault. I mean, it's not like you stunted his growth and gave him caffeine as a child, Keim, but you picked him. He says, obviously, the height hurts him at times, seeing over the line and processing and seeing the field.
No kidding.
Yeah, if you really had all of
the
these
draft,
doubts, no kidding. You shouldn't have given him $190 million guaranteed. Like that. Like, I don't understand. If you knew this, well, he's not really.
Yep.
Because he's a shorter quarterback, he needs to pay attention to detail, but he doesn't, and his height hurts him. Then what the hell did you give him $190 million for?
Maybe Bidwell.
Yeah, and use the contract, but out back before the draft. I was saying, I think that guy's too short. And I was like, Keim sits down next to me next to the bar and goes, that quarterback for the Cardinals is too short. I'm like, you picked him. I mean, come on.
But maybe he didn't. Maybe Bidwell picked him. Maybe he's a Jerry Jones behind the scenes. Maybe he's running who they pick. I mean, you never know. It's possible.
Why would you pick that guy? I am not sure that I am ready to believe that Michael Bidwell is Senator Palpatine / the Emperor.
I mean, he doesn't have.
I don't know.
I don't think he has to be nefarious and cloak and dagger with. All it has to be is, hey, when you're making that decision, just consider the guy that I really like. It would make me happy if you took so and so.
Let's go there. Let's say, do you think Bidwell thought two things about Robert Nkemdiche? Do you think Bidwell had a presence of mind to be like, oh, you should take that guy? So Keim, who did say, let's get Robert Nkemdiche, and remember he came out of high school in football as superstar, and then they, let's get that guy, and they got that guy, and he says, here's Keim. I drafted Robert Nkemdiche with the 26th overall pick. We thought he was a top 10 talent. there were concerns and questions about him coming out. So right there, he acknowledges
some question. Okay.
Lots of actual
there were
questions.
so many.
And then he says, at the end of the day, really, the guy, in my opinion, didn't love football enough. He didn't succeed or play at a high level because he was in love with the process of going through the draft, being the top pick, getting the money. But when it came to the grind, it wasn't his focus.
So why did you
picked him?
Why did you draft? Like, what did you talk about in these interviews, if not to figure out whether or not the guy liked football? Because if you went to his coaches at Ole Miss, they would have told you Robert Nkemdiche likes being famous for football more than Robert Nkemdiche likes football.
It gets better. Steve Keim on DeAndre Hopkins. Well, the problem there is his current contract. That was you. That was you.
Maybe it wasn't, though.
Oh, my God. He's the GM.
From the time Keim came in, I'm not a Keim fan, but from the time he came in, it just went downhill, right? So is Keim a puppet for Bidwell? And
I
he's
don't
kind of running
believe
the
so.
show?
I don't think so.
I don't think he's a puppet, but I think that they're good friends. And so
here's what it is.
They agree on all of this nonsense.
Here's what it is. I know what all this is. Keim sitting there, he's like, well, that quarterback is too short. Nkemdiche, that was a bad idea. And DeAndre Hopkins, oh my God, that contract. Sober Steve Keim and drunk Steve Keim.
Were they just two different people?
Two different people. I think we got sober Steve Keim sitting here saying all this stuff, not realizing that was me.
What the hell was I thinking?
We've all had times we were drunk and we were just like, did I really say that? No.
Maybe Bidwell kept him around because he was somebody he could manipulate. I mean, and do what he wanted to do.
Or the other way around.
Because you're right.
Keim could have been manipulating Bidwell.
Keim just seemed like a moron. I mean, every move he made was just, what are you doing?
Keim could have been manipulating Bidwell, but it just seems like it's the other way around, because what leverage does Keim have?
God,
they're
we need
just
to know this.
They're just really close.
It's going to be real interesting to see what happens this year.
So I
we
think
need an insider.
For instance, I think Bidwell could go, or not Bidwell. I think Keim could go, hey, check out this Nkemdiche guy. And then Bidwell and Keim are on board, and the two of them just hanging out, hand wave away whatever red flags, which there was a whole ship's worth of red flags for Nkemdiche.
We were running very late, but let me just say this. You could write the movie both ways, where Bidwell's in charge of everything and he's on, or Keim was running stuff and just sort of, Bidwell was just it could go both ways. You'd have the same outcome. Yeah. We need to get some words from somebody that were on the inside and knows the truth. God, I want to know this, but we're going to have to wait. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
There's no doubt that Harman Solar can save you up to 85% on your monthly electric bill. That's a fact. Bruce Jacobs here. But did you know it's possible to get solar for $0 down and no payments for 12 months? You can lease, finance, or even purchase outright. They have plans that fit everybody. Harman Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harman Solar at 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189, or go to harmansolar.com.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 6 to 8 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com. The golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelch and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
The Masters returns to 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, presented by Kasai Japanese Steakhouse.
There it is, a win for the ages.
Listen for updates from the Masters throughout the day with live look-ins, highlights, and the latest news and info from Augusta.
Is it his time?
Yes! The Masters on The Fanatic is presented by Kasai Japanese Steakhouse, where it's not just dinner, it's dinnertainment. Follow along with the 87th Masters Tournament on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
In business, everything your employees do impacts your brand, including what they wear. Cintas has high-performance workplace apparel for almost every job imaginable. From work shirts and pants, to polos and khakis, to Oxfords or T-shirts, these clothes move, breathe, and look great. Your team gets the styles they like, you convey the image you want. And Cintas service includes weekly laundry and delivery. To learn more, visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Remember when you could go to the doctor and actually leave feeling better? Hi, this is Dr. Stephen Katz. The problem with our healthcare system is the focus on the system and not on your healthcare. At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our doctors are experts in full spectrum healthcare using a natural approach. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men and women's health. We help people find relief when other doctors have failed. Our naturopathic doctors can restore your pain-free life using cutting-edge regenerative treatments. We can also help restore balance to your immune, digestive, and hormonal systems. Addressing your cause can also improve both mental and emotional stability. If traditional medicines aren't working for you, don't you think it's time to start feeling like yourself again? Call us. We're the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, Arizona at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161 or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
1580, The Fanatic.
Dave Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. And Blissel Hayes has a great idea for the Arizona Cardinals. He says, here's what you do. All the Cardinals need to do is draft 5 offensive linemen who are 5 feet tall and 325 pounds. I think I suggested that before, Bissell Hayes, but that's probably why I agree with you so much. But yes, I think that is the only really good solution for the Arizona Cardinals if they keep going with little Kyler Murray. Oh, by the way, you remember how the NFLPA did that thing and then it came out, Cardinals training facility sucks, and everybody was mad about it, and they fired the strength and conditioning coach. Well, now they got a new one, Evan Marcus. Evan Marcus is now the head guy. Another guy named Jason Mingucci, he'll be his assistant there, and another guy named Everett Gathron. Why do these strength and conditioning guys have such weird names?
I know, right? Like they're all from Finland.
Oh, that actually would make sense. Okay, that's great. They got these new guys. Do we know anything about them? I think Marcus was in Cleveland with the Browns. Do they seem fit? I mean, I don't know how to assess this guy and his work.
I don't know how to assess it either necessarily, because it's just one of those things where
he's been all over
the league in there.
He's been all over the league,
but he's been in the league for 16 years, and he spent 7
he can't
seasons.
keep a job though.
No, he spent 7 seasons with the Browns.
Well, he spent 1 with the Minnesota. He spent 2 with Miami. He spent 2 or 3 with Atlanta, and then a couple with New Orleans. Guy can't keep a job.
Yeah, it's not a good thing.
I don't know, but I mean, early on in his career, he spent 1 season here because you're getting experience. You're going with coaching staffs. Also, you get on one and those coaching staffs get fired. Maybe they come in and bring their own guys in, that kind of thing. But for the last 7 years, he's been with one team. So early in his career, he bounced around, and then lately he's been stable. Wow. That tells me he's probably doing all right.
Mingucci, the assistant there, he's actually worked with the NFL and the NCAA. What's that? Mingucci? Did I say it wrong?
No.
Oh. 7 years as assistant strength and conditioning coach with the Panthers. Bam. That guy, but that was like 4 years ago. And the other guy, Gathron, he 5 years doing that same stuff with Ohio State, and University of Virginia. So I don't know. I mean, so they got a bunch of new guys. I don't know if they're better than the old guys. I don't know if the old guys were the problem. I'm only here to tell you they got some new guys.
Yeah, the old guys, I don't believe were the problem, because on that survey, the strength and conditioning was rated pretty highly. It was the actual facility
so they fired the guy.
They fired the guy, but the facility was screwed up. So now you've hired new people, and you know what? Maybe they're just as good. Maybe they're better. Your facility still sucks. I don't know what you've changed here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Hefty Lefty says, happy Easter to those that celebrate this weekend, and happy Passover to the super fans that are members of the tribe. Just a friendly note for my fellow ribeye lovers. Both Safeway and Fry's have ribeye roast for $4.97 a pound this week. Great to buy whole, cut into ribeyes, and then freeze them for later use. Follow me for more advice. There you go, Hefty Lefty. Well done. Thank you for all that. And Easter has just always been perplexing to me that they call today Good Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happens on Friday. It don't seem very good. The outcome is good. But what happened on the Friday, it didn't seem good.
We could have that podcast, but Ashley is very good.
I just don't understand how, because do you ever see The Passion of the Christ there? And I never watched it, but I heard that was like,
it was brutal.
Yeah. Doesn't seem good. Doesn't seem good.
But it is good.
Is it?
It's good for everybody else, is how the story goes. You know, I mean,
it was necessary. It was necessary to achieve the final goal. It was very good. It had to happen. If it didn't happen, then the final goal was not achieved.
Because I had a paper cut on my nipple once, and I felt like that would have been enough.
You cut yourself yesterday.
Yeah, on the lip even. Yeah. That healed. Anyway, listen, and I don't say that to offend. I'm just kind of like, well, if you like the Jesus, you probably didn't want him to go through that, and him going through that doesn't seem good.
Necessary.
I just say it's the words in English. I know in other languages it probably wasn't Good Friday. It's like pretty okay Friday. I don't know what they called it.
It just depends on who you are in the equation.
It's what it represents.
if you're Jesus,
the equation,
okay, it's not a Good Friday for you, but
I appreciate it. I mean, listen, I'm not.
Everybody else is supposed to be
Fish
okay.
Tank the other day was like, I made that song for free, and you're criticized. Listen, I appreciate it, but I don't know. I'm having some issues with the words.
You mean
good?
You mean this song?
Burn in hell, Lakers! Burn in hell, Lakers! Shut the hell up, Ralph!
Yeah,
gosh.
There you go. It was
wow.
Added into the song there. So yeah, I appreciated it, but am I not allowed to have questions? I'm just saying.
No, you should have questions, and maybe one day you'll understand why it was good. And if you never understand it, then I hope you like fire.
Yeah. Wait till it gets a load of Uranus with that poker. Maybe I'm into that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for On This Date in Big George's sports history. That was you, Keon.
Yeah, no, I
Randy's
have
not here.
so much habit of just like, well, Randy's gonna get it.
Keon's like, this is gonna be good.
Back in the year 1943, the NFL, seeking to better protect its players, made wearing helmets mandatory for the following season. The helmets were flimsy leather hats at first. Hardly would have been sufficient for the vicious hits of today. 1948, Fred Gerke, Los Angeles Rams running back, began painting horns on the team's helmets for $1 apiece, and the team logos were born. Back to me, Trevor.
Did not know that.
Yeah. I of course, just like with anything, I ain't gonna wear a seatbelt. I ain't gonna wear a helmet. And that's the guy walking around going, can I get your car for you? Okay. Yeah, but I'll tell you what, there is something to be said that when they got the helmets, more concussions came because then people were leading with their head thinking they were protected. So I don't know. Maybe we should go back to leather helmets. I think they look cool. Just me?
I mean, they look cool, just not. I think the modern helmets look better.
I think you're going to end up seeing them wear those the goofy looking
the Guardian caps.
Yeah, the Guardian caps.
No,
it looks like you've soundproofed a room inside out. That's what the Guardian cap looks like. Nurse Scratchit says, "Hey, I'm off, so it is a Good Friday." Good for you, Nurse Scratchit. Navy Devil says, "I saw the Passion of the Easter Bunny on South Park. I've not seen that." Big George says, "Jeffrey, the term good as applied to Good Friday is an old English expression meaning holy. Often was called Holy Friday." If that were happening to me, I'd be like saying holy something else. But he says, in another sense, Good Friday is always tied to Easter Sunday. Well, yeah.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, right?
Yeah, they kind of have to be by necessity. That's
see that
how it works.
If you look at the whole situation there, Good Friday would be like Star Wars: A New Hope, and then later on, it's remember when Han Solo was in the Carbonite? No, that means that Good Friday is Empire Strikes Back, and then Sunday would be Return of the Jedi when they defrosted him.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help explain this to people who don't understand. I think more people know the Star Wars story, so I'm trying to help. I'm right.
Unfortunately, you are probably. That's unfortunate. Yeah.
Still, I don't know. I think maybe we could go. If you told me, hey, it's Holy Friday, I'd be like, oh, okay. I wouldn't even have a question about it. It's just the word good. I don't know. I'm hung up on that word. All right. Okay. Okay, let's talk a little memorabilia real fast. I've been meaning to do this. I don't know about you guys, but I think the memorabilia market is oversaturated and the prices have just gone crazy. Stuff that should not be as expensive. Like, who was it? Was it Herbert? Like a rookie card for Herbert was like $1 million. Or who was that? It wasn't Herbert. It was Josh Allen, maybe. Can't remember who it was. But I was like, what the hell? They haven't even done anything yet. And it was so expensive. And so many things are going for too much money. So you look at the stuff where it should be going for that. And you're like, I think things are kind of settling down. This was actually interesting. A Babe Ruth bat sold for a record $1.85 million, but only after there was photographic corroboration to say, yep, that is the exact same bat in the picture because it had the same stain marks and stuff that Babe Ruth was using. So I was like, all right, I can see that. I can understand that. But 1.85 million, though, I still wonder if that's not too much.
That's crazy.
First ever preseason touchdown ball for Tom Brady is getting sold, and they're thinking that thing could go for $250,000. I feel like that might be a bit much
for preseason football. I would say so.
Yeah.
By the way, it was Herbert with the $1 million card.
See, I was right the first time. How often does that happen? Anyways, I wish we had more time to talk about that, but we don't. Everybody have a great weekend. If the Suns win, Ralph will come in on Monday and take the abuse. Go Suns. See you guys next week. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
From the Augusta National Golf Club.